Audio. I'm on this side, right? We're gonna try that again, right? But when TV Land is the first time we're doing this, I'm gonna say welcome everyone to Legacy. You know, I appreciate everyone's presence. We've been open for about 3 months, and so this is our first. I'm gonna call it a major event. We have a major person here, and I want to thank Skyzoo for coming up. I would say coming down, but we know he's already down south. So thanks for coming up, coming back home to Dumbo, right? And see how Brooklyn is changing a little bit or a lot bit. And this is part of the album, right? And the album, of course, is called All the Brilliant Things, right? And my favorite album, right? That's come out in a long time. And I've had I hear voices back there. I just want to make sure that, you know. But yeah, I'm really honored I was able to read the lyrics, because sometimes when you read the lyrics and hear them, it's like, oh, Scott really went off, right? So if you have the physical media, you can check out the lyrics and really read along, right? How we did when we were kids, just like watching the ball and everything. So if you don't have all that, and even if you do, we know as Skyzoo fans, it's tough sometimes, right? You know what I'm saying? Because you listening, you don't really catch everything. Thought you caught it. Time you catch it, it's like you're 5 bars down. You gotta go back. You know, they say forget about it. You just go to sleep, whatever. Then you gotta fight somebody about it. Like nah. I'm telling you, you gotta, you know. So tonight we giving like ammunition, right, to all of us Skyzoo fans. We about to show everybody how Sky really breaks it down. I've known Skyzoo for about I met you 2003 at Burkina. You don't remember? That's fine. But it's an honor. Thanks again. And the last thing, Skyzoo actually opened up the space with the meet and greet and signing for. So I appreciate Skyzoo being the patron saint of Legacy. You know what I mean? And no further ado, just make way. And he finna come. All right, here we go. Yeah, the bees. That made the Fisher, right? The bees. Up.
Oh man. Appreciate everybody for coming out, and everybody who's watching. Where's the camera? Right, oh, right there. Okay. Yeah. Word up. Appreciate everybody for coming out, and appreciate you for having me, brother. You know what I mean? As a patron opening up the store, that means that good 50% discount on all the good brands.
Of course, you got. Hey, we can work that out.
No, I'll play with you. Now we support black businesses, man. So I'll pay 150%. We support black businesses, man. Can we do a little bit of
okay? Yeah, please.
Word up. Yeah.
Don't show the label because they didn't pay anybody.
Oh, okay.
Right,
okay.
Keep
it low.
Right.
Keep it low.
And if you want your wine to be, you know, but yeah. So
yeah. Now, I appreciate you putting this together with me, man. This was your idea, you know what I mean, of doing something along these lines, and then forgot the way you broke it down. But once you did, I was like, yo, what if we do that, but we do it this way and we really get into the album? And it was like, yeah, that could be the move. So here we are, man. You know,
what I mean? Me back. It's like we do it this way. So it's collaborative.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was inspired, and I appreciate you always answering my calls.
Come on, man.
He does
family.
Call him. All right, so let's go into it. So a lot of your albums, I think they're mostly concept albums. Is that true?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So usually, let's say whether it be Theo and JJ,
mm-hmm.
A lot of your albums you can tell by the skits why you name the album a certain thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
But All the Brilliant Things
mm-hmm.
talks about things that sometimes somber. There's some things that are sad things, they're troubling things, infuriating things,
mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So why did you name this album All the Brilliant Things?
Well, the album title glad you brought that up too. A lot of people wondered but didn't know how to ask it or didn't ask. But with the title, so the album is about cultural appropriation and gentrification. It's those two topics. There's no other types of records, right? There's no spitter record. Like a spitter record is you just going dumb, just spitting, going crazy, like a finesse everything or something like that, just spitting. There's no quote unquote female oriented record or anything like that. It's just cultural appropriation and gentrification. So when I looked at those topics and what was being done by those people who navigate all of that and the people who are the reasons why all these things are happening, I said, wow, this is all really bad and really wrong and really heinous. But if you look at the way they pulled it off, right or wrong, it was really brilliant the way they pulled it off. You know what I mean? So these are all the brilliant things. It was like, it's really brilliant the way they pulled this whole scheme off, of taking where we live, taking what we've created, flipping it and bouncing it and coming to us and saying, hey, now this is how to go about what you guys created and what you guys do. It was really brilliant how they pulled that scheme off. So that's the meaning behind the title.
So like wickedly great.
Right.
A lot of practice though.
Right.
Yeah, 400 years, 500 years practice.
Exactly.
Ain't a new thing, right?
100%.
Right. Okay, so that's where we're going, right? Okay,
Yeah.
cool. You know what's interesting? You're a child of the 80s. The A-Team, right?
Mm-hmm.
Was every episode was about gentrification, about burning somebody's farm down and something like that. They didn't want to start a farm, and
I didn't look at it like
A-Team.
that. I wasn't the super duper A-Team guy, so I didn't see it like that. That's dope though.
All right. So I'm a segue, man.
Yeah.
This is like an improv, just a freestyle. But don't judge me. So A-Team to free jewelry, Mr. Thing. So I mean, the first line, right? You have still untwisted my cables. I ain't gonna say how you say it. But still to a day to the day that I push a trade through. So what is twisting your cables mean?
Oh, my jewelry.
Okay.
Because on in celebration of us on the opening record, Everybody's Fine. I said Bobby Seale untwisting my cables, blah blah blah. So I'm saying I'm still on that type of time. So it was just a cool way to start it to like kind of bring it back to in celebration of us. So I'm like, the way I started that album, I'm still on that type of time starting this album. So I'm like still untwisting my cables, like still untangling these shits. Like I'm still me. That's all that really meant. You know what I mean?
This is why you say till saw fit to force them to celebrate you.
Because I'm going back to the celebration. So I'm saying I already told y'all what it was on the celebration of us. Like still saw fit to force them to celebrate you in celebration of us. Like I made people want to celebrate us by making that album. You know what I mean? Like I forced it. Like, yo, you have to celebrate us and all that we are and all that we've been through,
Okay. I mean, I don't know if anyone picked that up, but I did not pick that up. But I appreciate
well, that's the beauty of the music, man. That it feeds you forever, So like I always felt like when I make my music, it's layered and it's complex and it's lines and lines and bars and bars. But like the idea of it is I come from an era of like where you bought music, right? All the streaming stuff is obviously for this generation, but I came from an era where you bought music. So you could buy the music and be like, Dak, I bought this record and I like one or two songs and I heard the whole thing. It was cool. I got it. I spent $9.99 or whatever. I got it already. Okay. I could have kept that $10 and got something to eat. If you decide to buy the music, my music in particular, as opposed to streaming it or whatever, or even if you're streaming it and you just spending time, you're spending your time the same way you spend your money, it's worth it because it continues to serve the purpose over and over and over. There's no way you listen to a Skyzoo album and get it on the first shot. There's no way. I remember some kids was interviewing me and they were saying, yeah, we reviewed the album and we was the first review up at like 1 a.m. because it was like algorithm, right? So if you search my album, the first thing comes up is they site. I know you didn't get it in an hour, bro. I know you didn't. I wrote it and I ain't get it in an hour. You know what I mean? I wrote it. And I'm like, damn, I said that? You know what I mean? Like, you ain't get it in an hour, B. You know what I'm saying? So, it continues to serve the purpose where you can listen to it 5, 10, 20 years from now and be like, yo, I'm still catching stuff. Because that's what we do with Illmatic. That's what we do with Ready to Die. That's what we do with Liquid Swords. That's what we do with Reasonable Doubt. All these records that raised us, that raised me, that's what those records did for us. Every time you look, it's the 25th anniversary or something, and we celebrate it. So me as an artist and as a creative being, I want that. I want heads to look back 25 years later in celebration of us, salvation, all the brilliant things, whatever. Like that's what it's about, So I want the music to continue to serve the purpose. And that's why it's so layered and all that, because I don't want you the first listen you over it. Nah, keep spinning it, keep spinning. You know what I'm saying? Like, continue to enjoy it.
Like the gift that keeps on giving.
Absolutely,
pretty much,
without a doubt.
Right. So you speak about, I don't do this for Complex nor Pitchfork. So why those two, and what do those represent to you in the culture?
Yeah, it wasn't really like gunning for them. It was just, for example, it was just, you know, those kind of establishments, for example. You're talking about outlets, and maybe not necessarily them. I mean, they all play their part, but you're talking about outlets that, again, you know, things that started one way and turned into another. Things that don't get the culture, but are paid to get the culture. And more than get the culture, paid to dictate the culture. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it wasn't really about clapping them. It was just, for instance, here's, you know, saying to, you know, whatever. It wasn't a personal thing per se in that sense, but it was just what it really, really is, as far as there's a whole slew of them that, you know, their whole agenda and their whole job is to cover the culture, and it goes from covering to dictating it. And it's a difference. It's one thing to cover it and get it and understand it and respect it. And it's another thing to dictate it and say what is and what isn't. And if you ain't from it, how can you really understand that? You know, and every day, establishments like those or other establishments, it's less and less people that work in there covering it that look like you or not. You know what I mean? So.
And you go on to say, with the culture is determined while chugging the PBR.
Yeah.
And so
that's the hipster Kool-Aid, man. PBRs. I never had a PBR in my life.
We have some in the fridge, actually.
I won't be having one. That's hipster Kool-Aid.
That's how we find out who's who, right? PBR, I don't know PBR. All right, cool. So free jewelry, right? Obviously, you're not giving out any gold, right? So
I'm giving out gold lyrically.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The idea behind the title is, no matter what you paid for the album or any of my music, I feel like I've been giving away free jewelry forever. Jewelry is in jewels, is in gems around the way, giving jewels, dropping jewels. You know, everybody in here knows what that means. So I feel like I've been giving that away forever. You know what I mean? Because regardless of how much you may have paid for the music or supported with the merch, I appreciate all of that. But again, there's no way you got it all right away off the rip. So you got your money's worth times 1,000. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got your money's worth times 1,000. Like, I feel like I've been giving away jewels and gems forever. You know what I'm saying? And I'm proud to. You know, that's not me being fed up or tired of it. That's me just making sure that everyone listening acknowledges it the way I acknowledge it. Like, I've been giving away free jewels forever, you know, so that's what it is, you know. And then at the end, when it changes up and Russian jewelry purchasing 47th Street murder, and, you know, 47th Street is a diamond district. Russian jewelers run the diamond district. So I'm like, Russian jewelry purchasing 47th Street murdering, tell them hit the buzzer, these rubber bands, be assertive, and like, you got to get buzzed in if you're spending a certain amount. You know what I mean? So talking about all that, I'm trying to slow them down. They told them that y'all ain't leaving yet, but they used to the change on the block. So they just see a threat, meaning like, you got guys from the neighborhood that want to get fly and want to get their jewels, and they trying to hurry up and buy, for lack of a better term, because in their mind, this jewelry store may not be here no more. Now, this jewelry store is always going to be here because it's Russian jewelers in Midtown Manhattan. But they're so used to things changing in the neighborhood where they made this money at. They're so used to neighborhoods changing that in their mind, they're just like, yo, these Russian jewelers may not be here tomorrow. We need to shine. We need to get this. So now I'm banging on the door. Yo, come on. I'm trying to buy this jewelry. I'm trying to buy this chain, this bracelet. Like, come on. Like, so in a literal sense and in the figurative sense of, you're so accustomed in their neighborhoods, and they being we, as me as one of them, we're so accustomed with things changing in our neighborhoods, because today it was a hardware store, now it's a yoga shop. Today, a yoga studio, I'm sorry. You know, today it was a mom and pop store, you know, a tailor or cleaners or something or whatever, and now it's a winery. You know what I mean? Right, so like, we're so used to these things starting to happen in our neighborhood, we can't trust that something that we into is going to be here tomorrow. So yeah, I'm trying to go in here and spend this 10 bands on this jewelry that I made on them same blocks that keep changing, i.e. me being the hustler, whatever, speaking for that type of individual. I'm so used to shit changing. It's like, I gotta get this now because this motherfucker may not be here tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? So that's what the change up part in the record means. And, you know, I promise you that I'm gonna make sure that it shine. So there's a lot of layers on that in the sense of shine in the literal sense, and in the sense of, if I'm giving you these jewels, make sure that they shine, you know, make sure that you use them, make sure that you put them in place and you put them to use. And I mean, it's ridiculously layered, like the whole thing, man. I mean, again, I told you when we set this up, it was open season on every single line. If you wanted, damn, okay, heard up.
I'm at lines.
All right, well, you call out of work tomorrow.
About things with racing, you know.
Yeah.
You know, we're both raised by the A and the C. You know, one of the saddest things when you look around, say Gates or Myrtle, something like that, you just don't even remember anymore.
Yeah.
You know what was there? Do you have any places that you have in mind? Like, oh, that was like for me on I ain't gonna say the block, I ain't gonna snitch, right? But there was the dread spot, right now it's a nail salon, right? Is there any place?
I got one of those too. Well, I can't say what it was, but now it's a bar. Yeah, it's a bar. It's a bar on Fulton. Yep. What else? I play this game every time I come back home, right? I was playing it today where I look at everything and I'm like, oh, that's still there. That's still there. Oh, that's gone. Dang, that's gone too. Okay, they made it. They survived. Okay, then they lost. You know what I mean? Like where you look at just walking in the block. Like, oh man, they got so-and-so. Oh, so-and-so made it. Okay, good. Damn, so-and-so got hit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so it's the same thing, you know, and that's just the climate of where we are. Right. You know, and you would never think that you would see anything like that. And for the record, too, while we on camera and we be recorded and streamed, for the record, man, like for everybody listening to the album who doesn't look like you and I, this is not going at anybody like that at all. This is just understanding where we're from and what we built and how to respect it. That's it. You know, there's a lot of people that, you know, that move into our neighborhoods that don't look like you and I. I'm trying to be PC by saying that don't look like you and I, who are super cool. You know what I mean? Like I had a dude, man, I was living on Quincy and I had a dude live next door, man. My man Al, he was mad cool, exact opposite of us. Mad cool, man. We got cool because his dog looked just like my dog. And I was like, yo, what breed do you get your dog from? These motherfuckers might be brothers, you know, because they looked exactly alike. You know, we got stupid cool, man. Hang out, you know, crack a Heineken and you know.
Became brothers.
No, nah, but you know, we got stupid cool, you know what I'm saying? And because he respected the neighborhood, you know, when it was Quincy Day and it was a block party, you know, it wasn't no issues from son. He was cool. He would either hang out on the step and chill and smoke a bogey, or he would go in the house and chill, or he would go somewhere if it was too loud, he'd go to a bar or something. He was cool. He respected it. You know what I mean? So how could you not like Al? Al, man, cool. You know what I mean? So, you know, if you play it like that, it's love. But when you come in wanting to change shit and being like, yo, y'all can't have this noise, you know, one Sunday or one Saturday in the summer. Yo, we do this every year. Right. What you talking about? You've been here 3 months. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like, you can't do that, baby. You just can't. You know, that's culture.
It's the attitude. You gotta have a good attitude when you
if you respect it, if you respect it, everything is love. You know what I'm saying? So that's just an example, me using my man Al. That's just an example, man, because it's like, it ain't about going at people that don't look like us. Half of my fans is motherfuckers that don't look like us. You know what I'm saying? I love that. I love every one of them. So it's not about going at that side of the fence. It's just, as long as you respect it and you move the right way, same thing with the culture. As long as you respect the culture and move the right way as far as the music and all that, come on in. You know what I mean? Like it's enough room for all y'all. Come on in, you know?
So fast forward a couple of tracks. When you speak about the 40 Acres and a Mule block parties, you remember those balls?
You going way for you going Best Times Burning. Yeah. Block party every summer, 40 Acres and a Mule, same block where it was from, and it became the living proof. Last of a dying breed, praises is due while you cursing out the stage from your roof. You came here itching for the vibe, take it with us if we gone. No money in sales, blame the pictures on the wall. A box of Kennedy Fried got you thinking you involved. Shit is cool. I was there too before I moved along. Funny, ain't it? So yeah, that's that whole third verse.
Like a computer. So now in Free Jewelry, you also talk about 40 Acres and a Mule. Yeah. And your whole catalog is like shooting a spike joint. What do you mean by that?
That all my records is like, they feel like a Spike movie. Just because I've been told that forever. Okay. So that was just a quick line, you know what I mean? But I've been told that forever. Like, yo, when I listen to your shit, son, it sound like a Spike Lee movie. It sound like something with the Spike shot with the dolly following them and da-da-da and the jazz and shit sound like a Spike movie. And of course that makes sense because that's one of my biggest inspirations. Everybody knows that. If you're a Skyzoo fan, you know Spike Lee was my hero, the song and all that stuff. You know what I mean? So, you know, that was just a quick shot to saying like, you know, all my stuff sounds like that. My whole catalog is like I'm shooting a Spike joint. And when they told us "C'est la vie," you know what "C'est la vie" means? I ain't take my seat. I stood on top of that table and I sprayed my piece, meaning like if we in a class, they told us all be cool. I stood on the table and started spraying, figuratively, meaning when they told us to be cool and be one way, I was pushing for lyricism. I was pushing to bring this thing back. I was, along with other people, I'm not gonna say I was only one, but I was pushing for lyricism. I was pushing for storytelling. I was pushing for what I was doing, you know, and the ones who followed along is who they gave my reach. Like the ones who saw me and was like, oh, wow, look at him on the standing on the table going crazy in the class. Yeah, I'm gonna follow that. Those is the ones who get applauded and celebrated. But that's fine. How can I be appalled when they was raised by me? You know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm saying like there's all these artists out here now who running around getting busy. And I raised a lot of these motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? And I'm honored by that. A lot of them, we're not gonna do no names on it, but a lot of them come to me and tell me, yo, bro, it was you.
Yo, live in Atlanta too.
No.
We had a convo earlier before you came, and someone, he's 18 years old, and he mentioned like a name.
Okay.
I'm like, oh no, he's a fan of Sky.
Okay, word up. Whoever that is, and we'll talk about that later. But
you've been out. When you released your first record?
My debut
record,
album,
not album, record.
First piece of vinyl or what?
I don't care if it was a CD, Angels Dirty Faces, anything.
Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy. Because I know where you're going with that. My very first mixtape was 2002. You know what I mean? But that was super local. If you wasn't in Brooklyn or Southside Jamaica, Queens, shout out to my bro in the back. If you wasn't in Brooklyn or Southside Jamaica, Queens, you know, you wouldn't have had it. But that was 2002. So that's going on 20 years. That's crazy. But I feel like the first time I really got in the game was like 06, because it was the first time I had something for retail that you could buy, which was Cloud 9, which was the EP with Ninth and all that. So I always mark like 05, 06 as like really my coming out party. Everything before that was local mixtapes, like, you know, Q and Juice, like, oh, you local. You know what I mean? Like, I was local. You know what I mean? I'd press up 500 copies, float them through the neighborhood, put them on Jamaica Ave, put them on Fulton Street, stuff like that. You know what I mean? But, yeah. So it depends on how you want to look at either 02 or 06, depending on what your scope is like, you know?
Track 2.
Yeah.
St. James Liquors.
St. James Liquors. That's a spot that changed, but it's been changed for so long, going back to your question. It's been changed for so long, you forget. But that's a spot. It's now a pharmacy, which is great because you'd rather have that in the hood than gallons of Henny. But I bleed Henny, so I'm caught in the middle. You know what I mean? I want that, but I want that. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know.
Okay, so you say that you say Big, right? You wrote an album about my block.
So I should have gave it 5.
What block are you from?
St. James.
Okay.
Moved around. I lived born in Ebbsfield, Crown Heights. Moved to St. James, Gates and Green. I was like 10. Moved in with my pops. If you know Milestones, you know the story. Moved in with my pops, St. James, and was there for a while. Then I moved to Southside Jamaica, Queens when I was in high school. But my mom's was still in Brooklyn, so I was going back and forth. But I always felt like, you know, St. James raised me, you know. And I love Southside. Shout out to South. That's my second home, you know. 174th Street, say it's all day. But St. James prepared me as a preteen, then a teen and all that, how to deal with whatever, you know what I mean? So that's why I always claim St. James. I claim the Sty and the Hills and all that, you know, but all those spots that I named are my home, obviously. But yeah, St. James, I saw a lot living on St. James, good and bad, you know?
So it seems like how Big wrote an album for St. James. I feel like a lot of your projects are the same thing.
Oh yeah, they're from my neighborhood, absolutely. I've been talking about my neighborhood forever. I mean, like forever, you know. Yeah. Big wrote an album about the block, so it should have gated 5. I always tell people like Ready to Die was about the neighborhood. So all the stuff he was talking about was happening in the neighborhood. I was a kid, you know, Ready to Die came out, I was like 12. But that was about the neighborhood, you know. Right. So when people talk about, oh, where you from or where you live, that album, boom, you know where I'm from. You just don't know where I'm from, but you know because he sold 5 million records. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I remember going up and down St. James, walking by his crib, him and C's and JM and all of them shooting dice and chilling and rolling in Philly. And it was regular to us. You know what I mean? This is before he became who he was. It was regular to us. And then, like I said on the record, one day there's cameras outside and they shooting video on Fulton Street for juicing. We're like, yo, what the hell's going on? And we like, you know, 11 years old, 12, what the fuck is going on out here? And then we like, oh, snap. And the record's on the radio and Then he's on the cover of the Source, and he's winning every Source award, and then he's not in the neighborhood no more because he moved to Jersey, but he still come to the neighborhood. You know what I mean? So it was just like, wow, like this could really happen. And that was when, I started rhyming at 9, but at that point I was like 12, and that was all inspiration you needed. Like, oh no, this could happen. Look at bro up the block. You know what I mean? Like, but he was older, of course. I was 12. He was 21, 22. So people always be like, yo, did you know Big? I'm like, nah, I was a kid. You know what I mean? Like 22-year-olds don't hang out with 12-year-olds. They shouldn't. You know what I'm saying? They shouldn't. So, I ain't know Big, but I knew him from up the block. That's why I said, from up the block, called him B.I. and rode around with D-Rock. Now, me and D-Rock, ironically, is really, really tight. Shout out to my man D-Rock. Y'all all know D-Rock if you know Biggie Music. That's Big best friend. Me and D-Rock is real close now. But at the time, I didn't know them. They were just the OGs. You know what I mean? Like, you go outside and, you walking up the block, splitting a hero with your man, or splitting a slice of pizza with your man, one slice, cutting it down the middle and splitting it, and Big and them is outside blowing a Philly. That was regular. You know what I mean? Like, that was really regular for us. We'd be walking down the street, play fighting, slap boxing and all that, and Big and them sitting out there paying us no mind. Or, yo, look at these little motherfuckers. That was us. We was the little motherfuckers. You know what I mean? Like, so.
What is this thing? My man's followed the flute of whoever played the 181 theme sort into the tape's done.
Mm-hmm.
I heard him. Who was juggling? How about take? So what is that? What is this? Flute?
You play the flute, like Pied Piper. Okay. The kids follow the Pied Piper. So what I'm saying is, like, the hustler, the guy in the neighborhood, is who the kids follow. It's who they look up to. It's who, he getting it. I want to be like, son, he got the Q45 Infinite. He got the jewels. He got. I'm looking y'all back to a certain era as I'm naming it. You know what I mean? Like, he got the AV and the Butter Timbs and the Q45 and blah blah blah. He doing it. The theme song recorded until the tape done, and that's just figurative, meaning like, right. If the Pied Piper's playing this flute, this song is recorded until the tape's done, meaning we see this song every day. We hear this song every day from these guys that are getting it, and we want to be like them because that's what we see. Because the thing about St. James Liquors, it's about two different types of guys wearing a crown. So the first verse is about the guy in the street getting money, da-da-da. The second verse is about Big. It's about So in one instance, I'm looking at the guys getting money in the street, like, yo, son doing it. Look at so-and-so, he doing it. Boom, boom. He sit outside, chilling. They lean on the whip, bumping Nas new shit, and blah, blah, blah. And, they shooting dice and chilling. Everybody got good levers on, and they doing it. And then you see Big, and you're like, yo, same type of guys, ironically, because Big is cut from that cloth. And you like, yo, look at Big, he doing it. He made it. You know what I mean? Yo, he chilling, yo, he blah, 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 blah. So it's me looking at two different guys wear a crown at 13 years old. You know what I'm saying? That's why I ended each verse 13, view of how a crown fit. You know what I mean? Like, 13, and I'm watching how a crown fit. Because I'm in the first verse is about the guy in the street, and the second verse is about the guy rapping, making the music, which is what I was trying to do at 13, which was big. You know what I mean? So I'm looking at that, and I'm like, damn, I'm looking from afar, like, damn, that shit is right. And your 13, your kid decide which way you want to go. And that's what all my music has always been about. It's always been about this junction. It's been about, I'm from here, you from the same place. How did I go? Just went that way. How are we still connected at the hip, even in spite of that and in light of that? So it's always been that type of thing. You know what I mean? So
it's like the Milestones cover, like Trave and Boys in the Hood.
Absolutely, yeah, without a doubt. So St. James Liquors is one of my favorite songs. And the ill thing about that record too, that people may or may not have caught. A few people caught it because they left comments about it, but the flow on both verses, the beginning flow, is from the Nas Funk Flex freestyle. You know what I mean? Like, but you gotta know the Nas Funk Flex freestyle from, was that 96? What he said? Oh man, Gold Chain, we bombed Sunday school, first blunts, cutting class, first wifey, had me nothing fast, used to brag about what I had, always wore a bag on my pants, sagged on my kicks, Converse, yellow, purple magic, Bird had that black shit. So it's the Nas flow from the Funk Flex freestyle that, you could YouTube it because it's not on iTunes, but you could YouTube it.
I was just listening to it in my car today, and I thought that.
It's the same flow. Yeah, it's the same flow. Absolutely, yeah. 100%. Yep. So I just, that flow just came to me when I was right into the beat. My first viewer, what it do was with my crew, posted on the stoop, gold chain, small rope, but bitches peep the cool, wore mine all the time, inspired by the corner con, foreign ride, tents on 35s, trap done 35, like 35% tents. If you get 35% tents, those is like the super, super dark tents. Like, I'm just painting the scene, you know what I mean? Like,
you might go to jail that night.
35 is like right legal, like you right there, you know what I mean? Like 35 legal, but it's right there, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, so my first view of what it do was with my crew posted on the stoop, gold chain, small rope. Like I had a little small rope. My rope might have been $100, you know what I mean? You know, but it was cool. Like I'm 13, you know, small rope, but bitches peep the cool, wore mine all the time, inspired by the corner con. Like I'm wearing this because of the guys on the corner. Foreign rides, tents on 35, you know, foreign whip and trap door inside for the stick. So you got the foreign car, you got the tents, you got the trap door, you put the joint in, you know what I mean? Foreign ride, tents on 35, trap door inside for the stick, 9.5s for the kicks, Air Max 95s, you know what I mean? Neon greens, I had them too, but was married to penny ones, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I had the Air Max 95, but my favorite sneakers was the penny ones. And if you know me, you know I'm a penny guy. Then I played with the 2-1, you know, I had them too, but was married to penny ones, you know, and then it is little moments just because, like doing the 2-1, that's just because. That's just
messing with
that's lyricism. That's the culture of lyricism. That's just because. I had them too, but was married to penny ones where habits could get you done and the addicts was on the run. Biggie shit was the Bible and the Magic had almost won. I'm painting 1995 for you, you know what I mean? Like Biggie record was the Bible. Everybody swore by it. The Orlando Magic almost won. I was going bananas in my house. You know what I mean? I was screaming in my house at them getting swept. I remember this chick, man. I remember this chick in school. This is way off topic, but I'm just painting the scene. The day after the Magic got swept, it was this girl, man. She was a super basketball fan, real cool chick. Yo, man, she came to school with a broom. Yo, man, if this chick was a dude, I was going to body slam. Yo, like, she came, like, she, you know what I mean? I was like, what? Yo, man, you, man, like, fuck you, like, she came to school with the broom and shit, like, you really went that hard, you know what I mean? But anyway, you know, Biggie shit was the Bible, the Magic had almost won, and it all made sense when the habits that could become when you watching a BMW, you advocate all them jums. Jums is pieces, you know, that's work, that's whatever, you know, you got jums, that's old school shit. You got jums, I mean, it's crap. Okay, so a BMW advocate all them jums. When you see a BMW, you're like, damn. That's why motherfuckers sell jumps. Okay, man, we should start selling jumps. I'm just showing you everything that goes through a 13-year-old's mind who, in his house, his family got black art and smooth jazz, CD 101.9 playing, and his pops don't play no games and all that. But when he walk outside, it's a different animal. It's a different world. And he's, as much as he knows that world in his house, he probably know that world outside even better. And that he being me. You know what I mean? Like in my house, we had dinner, we turned the TV off, everybody sat around the dining room table right on St. James, you know what I mean? And we listening to Ronnie Jordan, smooth jazz, CD 101.9. When I went out the house, it was like, yo, Sky, we about to shoot these dice, come on. You know what I mean? Like, it was, I'm 13, and you caught up in these worlds and this juxtaposition, and, you know, it is what it is, you know what I mean? And that's why my music sound the way it do, because a lot of kids, when their house is one way, outside is the same way, whether it's high or low. For me, it was two different things. Like when I went in the house, it was one thing. And when I went outside, it was another thing, you know?
Well, that neighborhood, right? That neighborhood, you have these nice blocks of brownstone. Mm-hmm. You got to go to Fulton Street one day.
Yeah.
You got to go to DeKalb, you know? So
and it get freaky. And it get freaky. And at the time, like, you know, a lot of Brooklyn is brownstones. You know what I mean? Like Brooklyn has projects, of course, but Brooklyn is known for brownstones. So you see brownstones and you like, oh, this nice neighborhood. A lot of times them brownstones is the most wicked shit happening in them. You know what I mean? Or like right in front of the brownstones. You know what I mean? Like sometimes the brownstone is the gate, you know, if you know what the gate is. You know what I mean? So like, you know, it don't matter, you know. But yeah, like you said, you gotta go to 4th Street, you gotta go to Gates. Big said 88 on Gates, snatching initial nameplates. He's literally talking about Gates Ave, you know what I mean? So that's right there. So
tour my neighborhood.
Yeah.
I'll scratch.
Yes. I was with him today. Shout out to the bro Al, man. I literally was with him a couple of hours ago hanging out. Yo, man, the way that record came together, I did the record and I had the idea of the come around my way. And I was gonna sample the acapella. I was like, I'm gonna find the acapella, have the DJ cut it up and just play it, you know, over the beat, whatever. I'm not even thinking about getting with Al. It seems impossible, you know what I mean? I can't find this acapella nowhere. And ironically, I wish he was here today. He out of town. My man Danny from the Bronx. Danny calls me, yo, I'm going to Carlos spot, classic material. Yo, I'm going to Carlos spot. You know, you want anything? Or he was there. He was like, yo, I'm at Carlos spot. You want anything? I was like, yo, what they got? You know, what's the new shit? Because Carlos always got the dope shit. And he was like, yo, they just did an Ill Al scratch capsule. And I was like, what? Because I had already did the record and I referenced it with me singing it as a placeholder until we found the acapella. I was like, what? They did a who capsule? It's just so ironic. Like, that was God. You know what I mean? That was, sometimes I feel like God is behind everything without a doubt. But sometimes I feel like God walk in the room and go like this and then walk out. You know what I mean? Like, he's always around. Of course, I'm super duper Godded out. I love God. You know what I mean? But so God's, I say that because God's always here. But sometimes he in the cut chilling, watching. And sometimes he open the door and walk in and go, yo, hold that. And you walk out. You know what I'm saying? That was one of the moments where he walked in, yo, son, hold that. And he walked out. Because what's the chances of me doing that record and then Danny being at classic material spot and Ill Al Scratch doing a pop-up shop there? Of all people. Like, what? That's God. Yo, son, hold that. I'll be back. You know what I mean? So he called me and told me that. And I was like, yo, what? I was like, yo, if you get next to Al, let me know. If you get next to Ill Al, let me know. And he did. And he called me on FaceTime. Yo, peace, God, boom. Yo, peace, God, what's up? And we started kicking it. And I told him the same story. And he was like, yeah, we never put the acapella out. It was only on cassette tape. He was like, we never put it on vinyl or nothing like that. So you're not going to find it. He goes, if you want, I could re-sing it. And I was like, what? He was like, yeah, if you want, I'll re-sing it for you. I was like, word. He was like, yo, I love your shit, man. What you doing for lyricism is top notch. You one of the few out here that's killing. You know, you're literally carrying the flag for the shit. He was like, yo, like, I got you. If you want, just we set it up. I was like, bet. So like a month later, I was back here in Brooklyn, and he came to the lab. You know what I mean? And he did it and knocked it out, and that's how that happened. You know, and that record, the concept behind that record is literally like the title, A Tour of the Neighborhood. So picture this couple coming in the neighborhood, this couple that don't look like us, you know, coming from Ohio or Michigan or whatever, and they with their real estate agent, and they're taking a tour of the neighborhood. And I'm there, and I'm like, oh, y'all want to see the neighborhood? Oh, okay, cool. I'll show you the neighborhood. This is what the neighborhood is now, but this is what the neighborhood used to be. And I say all that to say, if you don't play this right, the neighborhood could turn back into what it used to be at any given moment. At any given moment, you know. I mean, my people's told me about how it's starting to go down in the neighborhood like it used to. And you got all these people writing on these blogs and stuff like, man, I just moved here and I thought it was different. And, you know, but there's a lot of gun violence and activity. And for the record, of course, gun violence and all that activity is awful. And we don't promote that. I'm not promoting that at all. But what I'm saying is, you know, people kind of get pushed a certain way. And, you know, people feel like, yo, I got to do what I got to do, whether y'all moved in here or not. You know what I mean? So, and that's just the nature of the beast when you making money a certain way and you're doing what you have to do in your eyes. So, you know, it's me saying, yo, the neighborhood's changed, but it could go back that quick. So play this right, respect it, nurture it, understand the people who you live next door to, and you'll be all right. Because if not, this thing could go another way quicker than you thought. And you already put down first, last security. You know what I mean? Like, you're already here, baby. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, and I'm really just describing what it was. I'm talking about skelly tops and the number spot and, you know, back when my pops would be out in front of the Jeep, 2 a.m, Henny pour while me and my brother sleep, but still was taking care of whatever me and my brother needs. I'm just painting the scene. Like, my pops would be outside. He'd be, you know, he'd go out and hang out with, you know, with his peoples and all that and come home 2, 3 in the morning. But we always had everything we needed. He always took care of the house. You know what I mean? So, you know, I'm just painting the scene. 2 a.m, me and my brother sleep, still was taking care of whatever me and my brother need. No complaints when your crib fits so comfortably. And Leroy Campbell's is like wallpaper. This goes back to what we just said.
Right.
Leroy Campbell, the artist, you know, Leroy Campbell paintings is easily 1,200 and better. You know what I mean? Like, we had 7, 8 of them motherfuckers in a little 2-bedroom apartment in the hood. You know, Leroy Campbell's is like wallpaper. But I was out 4, 5, 6 and for your paper. That's literally what we just talked about. You know, like, we had all these pieces in the house, and as soon as I go outside, it's go time. You know what I mean? And that was the juxtaposition and the irony of me being in these two worlds and this tug of war.
And this is for sale too, by the way, just in case you.
Nice. Who's the artist?
It is Doba Afolabi.
Okay.
Nigerian brother.
That's awesome. Yeah, I got to see if I got space in the crib. My crib is covered now too. I got Leroy's and Anthony. I got a bunch of joints, man. I got Anthony Armstrong's, a bunch of joints. So anyway,
So
yeah,
it's a great segue to the Rich Rhetoric.
yes,
That's art on the wall, right? So I mean, one thing I got to read Sky's lyrics, and there's some, what do you call these homonyms? What do you call it when you're saying one word?
Dope shit.
And it's dope
That's
shit,
what I
right?
call it, dope shit.
So you say flip to A to Z and cruise.
Word
I
to a
love you. Right, word to a phase on. All love, or whichever part that the phase on. So with the AZ cruise, we have parentheses CRUZ.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah.
About
One of my favorite moments on the album. I break it down at the shows, and then people really get excited about it. It's a quadruple entendre. So here's how it goes. Everybody hype about doubles now. Yo, double entendre. Yo, son spit a triple. Word. That's been triples like 10 years ago. You know what I mean? But anyway, so it's a quadruple. So same corner loops we was raised on. Flip A to Z and cruise. Word to a phase on. So the first one, flip A to Z and cruise, right? That's one because you're trying to get from A to Z and cruise. You're trying to get from A to Z and take off. Meaning if you outside, you're trying to get from here to there and get out of here. You know what I mean? You're not really, if you're smart, you're not really trying to stay in this that long. You're not really, of course, everyone tries to make a career out of it, and that's when you get jammed. But you trying to A to Z, we starting here, we getting here, and we the fuck up out of here. So that's one. Flip A to Z and cruise. But then the second bar, this is all in one bar, but the second layer is A to Z and Cruz. AZ, the rapper, his last name is Cruz. His name is Anthony Cruz. So flip A to Z and Cruz, word to a phase on. Then you got AZ Cruz, the rapper, but then you got AZ Phase on and Paid in Full. AZ Phase on, the hustler with Alpo and Porter and them, whatever. So you got AZ Cruz and AZ Phase on. Flip A to Z and Cruz, word to a phase on, all love, because then you got Phase on Love, the actor. So on one bar, flip A to Z and cruise, word to a phase on, all love. That's one bar. That's four.
Pardon me.
That's a quadruple.
Y'all holding in y'all woos and all that. Y'all feel like
well, because they got the cameras on and they want to be respectful.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But you can go off as much as you want. Just trying to be respectful and classy, and this is a classy establishment. So I respect that. We don't need motherfuckers throwing liquor like, oh shit, this motherfucker said that. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, absolutely. But yeah, so that's flip A to Z and cruise, word to a phase on, all love, or whichever part that the phase on, whatever phase we are in this. 100,000 years in the coop to set the stage for. Like, we don't know millionaires in the hood. We know 100,000 years. You know what I'm saying? Like 100,000 years in the coop to set the stage for a scene set. Play a role and bet your scene stretch. There's a double right here too. Carry the loop forever like it was Keith Sweat. Bet it last. So make it last forever. Keith Sweat, Mariah Carey sampled it. When you sample something, it gives it new life, so it kind of goes on and on. It kind of goes on forever. Carry the loop. Carry as in Mariah Carey. Carry the loop forever like it was Keith Sweat. Bet it last forever. What you make it do, but know the rhetoric is irreplaceable. They said they keep it richer.
Just stop. Okay, wait.
No, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, look.
There's a lot of lines being touched on the first
three
songs, so we gonna
I was like, why is Mariah Carey here though?
Yeah.
So do you ever like? Nah, that ain't deep enough. How long did that take? How long did AZ?
That was quick. That was quick. Listen, I write. This is no flex. This is none of this. I don't pat myself on the back. I write. If I do a verse for somebody, yo, Sky, do a joint collab. I write 16 in like 20 minutes, 20, 30 minutes, give or take. Sometimes, it take a little longer, depending on the mood or what's going on. I write 16 in like 20, 30 minutes. I write a song in like an hour. But sometimes it's like this album took longer, right? So like there's certain records I would sit and just have the beat on loop for like 2 hours because I really was just zoning in, right? So now I'm hearing every part of the beat. There's certain records on here, I'm in the studio and the beat is playing for 2 hours and I ain't write one word. And then I'll write 4 bars or 6 bars and I write the rest of the verse. I got 16, then I read it back and I say to myself, okay, what if I move this bar here and that bar there? And I really was mad scientist with this album for a lot of reasons that we're going to get into. But for the most part, I write relatively quick, man. That's been the story of my career that I've been blessed. It's a blessing, man. Because for all the writers in the room and everybody watching, one of the greatest ever, one of my favorite ever, one of my top 5, Mos Def said, I write a rhyme. Sometimes I won't finish for days. And that's real. So just because you wrote a rhyme and it took you 3 days or 2 days, that don't mean you're not nice. Because motherfuckers can write a rhyme in 15 minutes and it be trash. You'd be like, yeah, but I wrote it in 15 minutes. Well, you shouldn't have. You know what I mean? Like, should have wrote that shit for a day or 2. You know what I'm saying? Like, So me saying I write quick is not a flex. That's just me saying what it is. Because sometimes I will sit down and write a song and be like, okay, this is taking me a little longer because I'm so into it. Or I may have a block that day. Anybody that write and rhyme and all that, if they tell you they never got writer's block, they lying. Everybody's gotten writer's block. Every artist has gotten a creative block and painter's block. It's just what it is. You know what I mean? Like, you wouldn't be human if you didn't. So, you know, I get writer's block, you know what I mean? And I'll be like, yeah, I don't a little light today. Let me sit down and, you know what I mean? Let me chill out and come back to this tonight or tomorrow or whatever. You know, you get writer's block once in a while. The key is to try to navigate that shit and not have to deal with it for but so long or but so often. But back to the point, that ain't take a while. But yeah, I'm trying to remember when I wrote that. Yeah, I was at Stankonia Studio in Atlanta, Outcast. I was at Stankonia when I wrote that. I was sitting there. Yeah, that was kind of quick. I think I wrote that whole song in like under an hour. That was kind of quick. It just moved, man. Like I said, God is everything. It just moved. Like, it just comes out. You know what I mean? It's just, you know, I'll say one thing and it'll lead to the next. And I'm always trying to one up myself. People always ask, like, yo, do you feel, you know, competition? But not really. Like, nah, I don't. You know, my competition is myself. Like, I want to be better than I was yesterday. You know what I mean? I read this article when I was in college. It was Eminem, Double XL or something like that. And I remember he was talking about whatever new album it was. I always give him props on this. I never met some, but I always give him props on this. They was asking about the new album, and he was like, yeah, this album's my best album. Because if it wasn't, I shouldn't have put it out. Like, what I do today is supposed to be better than yesterday. So this shit is supposed to be better than the last shit. If it ain't better than the last shit, then why I do it? You know what I mean? So for me, I live by that mantra with what I do. So it's like, if I'm doing this, I'm trying to one up myself.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I'm trying to wow myself. Like, yo, you really said that shit? God damn, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, when I'm reading it back or I record and listen back, like, God damn, I kind of killed that shit. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm looking for within myself. So moments like that and telling the story. And that's the key with the album. And, you know, I know we talked about it on the phone the other day, but like the things that I'm doing with this album, how can you tell a story and get these points across with breaking down this and this and this and these concepts and all this deep stuff and still hit them with shit like that at the same time? It's usually you got to pick and choose, right? Like, you could wow motherfuckers and do a spitter, or you could tell a story and go this way, but how can you do both at the same time and cover all these different grounds and bases at one time without losing a step? And that's the key to like elite songwriting. You know what I mean? That's the key to being an elite lyricist and elite MC. And again, this ain't me patting myself on the back. You could take this conversation and put it to any of your favorite rappers out there. Like, can they do that? Like, motherfuckers will wow you on a spitter, but when they telling the story, they just telling you, yo, so today I went outside and it rained. I grabbed my umbrella and then I went boom, 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 boom. They're telling you a story, right? I'm the motherfucker that be like, yo, when it rained, I was dodging, but like, I'm the motherfucker that'll wow you in the story. Like, yo, the story, I get everything in the story, but the motherfucker still had doubles all over the record that I'm breaking down. He could have spit the same shit on a flex freestyle, but he did it as a story. How the fuck he do that? Like, that's the culture of lyricism that I represent, you know?
My favorite line actually is bottom of my fitted is great like misunderstandings.
Yep. That's one of my favorites too. And it flies right by. A lot of people didn't catch it. Bottom of my fitted gray like misunderstandings. Misunderstandings is all about gray area. Right. You know what I mean? Like, if we got a misunderstanding, it's because there's something here that I'm seeing one way, you seeing another. This shit is a lot of gray area when it should just be black and white. You know what I mean? Like, bottom of my fitted gray like misunderstandings. Young city bandit, lugging it single-handedly, like lugging, you know, all this weight, like the weight of the city on my shoulders. Young city bandit, lugging it single-handedly from where they arms deep in the O's like Vansanity. So, you know, Vince Carter put his joint, you know, arms deep in the O's. Like, these little kids that I'm around, they arms deep in the O's, meaning like they in the game, you know what I mean? So simple can it be? Like, can it be also simple Wu-Tang shit? So simple can it be? Aura of it all draped over like canopies, like you can't get away from it. Guard it from the dormant, like, you know, guard it from the dormant. We don't want to be dormant, like Jay said, you know. Guard it from the dormant, part it like a chorus parts it. You know, the song is this. A song is a story, and the chorus kind of parts it. You got your verse, chorus, you know, part it like a chorus. Never forget what sticks. Like, never forget the part that stuck to you, even when the parts. Like how the city was better when Mello was still a Nick. Peace, God, word to the 7 threaded on my compound. Mellow 7, peace, God, the God 7. But then also the compound hats. I don't have one on today, but I actually love those hats. You know, the compound hats where everything is in number 7. Yeah, word to the seven threaded on my compound. Sometimes it got to get blatant for shit to calm down. Like sometimes it got to get rowdy in order for shit to calm down. And that's just neighborhood shit and life shit. Even if you're not talking about outside the neighborhood, sometimes it got to get a little rowdy and blatant to calm shit the fuck down. Like, yo, calm down. Like, you know what I'm saying? Words from the wise, like that shit the OGs would teach. Whether the OG was my pops or the guy outside or whatever, words from the wise, whether they hear or not still, and all the rubber bands I rock still. They said to keep it richer. And then the third verse is is one of my favorites. It's all that they spoke for, hoping you heard them right is all that you hope for. So like when you get in this game from these OGs, all you hoping is that you heard them right. You know what I mean? So all the OGs spoke for is all of this. They said to keep it richer. That's all that they spoke for. And hoping you heard them right is all that you hope for. A few get roped in, like a few, you good, come with us. A few get roped off, like a few get killed, they don't make it. And they know where you keep it at. Visions like old dog, and then in the back you hear the sound effect of old dog. Y'all know you keep that shit too, like visions like old dog. Cause yo, pa, my man caught a bad one. Son, lawyers was fighting. He bit it, came home and called me while I was writing. Reunited, like the best song on the second woo shit, followed by the Cream Part 2 shit. And that really happened. And it's the same guy in one of the records later that we'll get into. I was writing that record and I get a call from a number that I don't know. And I don't pick up numbers that I don't know. But for whatever reason, I picked it up and it was one of my mans from Southside, one of my guys I've known since I was 14. And he had just got out. You know what I mean? Yo, son, I'm out. Boom, boom, it's me. Boom, boom, I'm out. Oh, what up, son? Boom, boom, yo, what's up? Yo, I'm out, man. Just let me out the joint. I've been out about 20 minutes, blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? It was one of them calls, you know, that we all too familiar with. But so I threw him in the round, you know what I mean? Because it had literally just happened. You know what I'm saying? And I'm writing the shit and I get interrupted by that, but that's a good way to get interrupted, you know. Call me while I was writing, reunited. Now we reunited, like the best song on the second Wu shit, you know, the Wu-Tang second album. Reunited is the best beat on it. That beat is retarded, you know what I mean? So reunited like the best song on the second Wu shit, followed by the Cream Part 2 shit. The truth is, cash is part of how we knew shit, like how much these cost and how much the coupe fit. You know what I mean? Like all that shit from the neighborhood taught us everything, whether we realized it or not. You know what I mean? We know how many people could fit in the coupe without even getting in one because we admired them shit so much by the motherfuckers who had them in the neighborhood as little kids. You know what I mean? Like that's what it all goes down to, you know?
So,
yeah.
Bodega Flowers.
Yes.
This might be, I don't know, I want to say it's the biggest song to date, but it's
up there. It's one of it went viral on TikTok.
TikTok.
Yeah, you know, and the dope thing about that is it was organic because I don't know nothing about TikTok. I clapped that TikTok on the album. You know what I mean? Like we a product of Ziplocs, they a product of TikTok. Like I clapped at them, so you know I don't know shit about TikTok. You know what I mean? Like, but my little cousin in North Carolina, she's 16, so she know everything about TikTok. And she hit me and was like, yo, congratulations, cuz. And I was like, on what? She's like, going viral on TikTok. I was like, what are you talking about? Like, what? Like, she was like, yo, your song Bodega Flowers is ringing. Like, you got thousands of people uploading videos, and every one has like hundreds of thousands of views. And I was like, what? So I had to make a TikTok page and figure this shit out. I ain't even announced that I have a TikTok because I don't fucking want to, you know what I'm saying? I only made it for that. I had to make a TikTok and search it and look at it. Yo, 900,000 views on this one, 450,000 views on that one, 325,000. I said, what the fuck is going on with this shit? You know what I'm saying? And it's just all these 20-something-year-old girls saying, I want flowers, but I don't want to tell you I want flowers. And they boyfriend in the background, like, and I was like, oh, y'all took it there. Right. That's the surface level of what it is. The song's not about that at all, but it makes sense to get that from it because that's a very surface level way of looking at it. And see it that way, feel free. Because it works in that element too. It's not like it don't work. Right. It works in that element too because that's the very right on top of the table surface way of saying. You know what I mean? But
that was a double entendre on purpose, though. You had a woman's voice on that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because as a guy, I'm not gonna be like, I want flowers. Like I wrote that part. Right. You know what I mean? Like, but as a guy, I'm not gonna be on the record like, yo, son, I want flowers, but I don't want to tell you I want. That's just not gonna come across the way. You know what I mean? It's not gonna be right. So yeah, shout out to the dealer who respit that. I wrote that little part. You know, and I had her spit that or whatever. But yeah, it rang off, man, and it's cool. You know, cool little thing. So let's break down the lines.
Do you get your flowers? Do you say flowers from whoever deserves them before they take me? Mm-hmm. Love is love. Love is love greatly. Back to shit that made me so.
Mm-hmm. I mean, there's a room full of them right now. You know what I mean? I do get them. I get them. I mean, I'd be lying if I said I ain't feel like I should get more of them because I absolutely should. but that doesn't slight or take away from what I do get. You know, I got tons of bouquets in the crib from everybody here, from motherfuckers watching you. You know what I mean? It's tons, man. I get my love. You know, I get my love and my respect. But of course, you know, I feel like, yo, man, I'm pioneer this type of shit. I'm the greatest doing this type of shit. I'm the greatest at that. You know, I'm top tier or whatever it is. I'm elite. You know, and I'm recognized as that. But I definitely feel like, you know, I deserve more. But I'm so humbled and happy and enamored by the tons that I do get that I'm not phased. You know what I mean? I'm not phased, because if I was phased, it would feel like I don't appreciate what I get. And motherfuckers is in here tonight on what was today? Tuesday? On a Tuesday night when Heads got to go to work tomorrow. You know what I mean? Like, Heads is online, Heads is showing the love, boom, boom, boom. And shows is selling out every time I go out. And so I get the love. You know what I mean? And for me to feel like I'm phased by whatever I'm lacking would seem like a slight to them. And I wouldn't dare do that. You know what I mean?
You have the Shamik Moore line.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like the infamous. Oh, because earlier we were talking about that. So
yeah.
Then your face mask, sneak off, race draft, recall. Give us Larry David.
Y'all could take back Shamik Moore. I would love to break that down. Your face mask sneak off, like your mask, you know, the shit fell off, or motherfucker was able to see who you really are behind it. Your face mask sneak off. Race draft, recall Dave Chappelle, the race draft, give us Larry David, and y'all can take back Shamik Moore. Or maybe I'll just school him some, get the retooling son. Word to Miles Morales, ignoring his father badges. So that's one of my favorite lines on the song too, because like what I'm saying on there was a moment last year, and I like Shamik Moore as an actor, man. I don't know him, never been in a room with him. I like him as an actor a lot. I think he's killing the Raekwon shit. Like the Raekwon scenes are some of my favorite scenes on the Woo show. So he's dope. But I think it's a sign of this generation being somewhat removed from our history and what was, because there was a moment last year, if you know, you can Google it, that he kind of went off on Rosa Parks. Like, oh, well, you know, Rosa Parks could have just moved and it wouldn't have been a big deal, you know, and it was like, wait, what? You know what I mean? Like, and they was clapping, son. It was going crazy. Rightfully so. They were trying, yo, cancel, son is over, blah, blah, blah. And I think he stood on it even more. Like, he came back and was like, nah, man, like, y'all don't get it. She could have just moved, you know what I mean? And it's like, everybody's like, yo, bro, how don't you get this? So I threw that in the song, compared it to Larry David, because I love Larry David. Larry David's honorary black guy. Yeah, Larry David's amazing.
Everybody go and watch Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Absolutely. We can race draft, you know what I'm saying? Dave Chappelle, we can swap that over right now. Larry David is one of us, no doubt. But, you know, he's welcome. He's welcome at the barbecue, as they say. But what I'm saying on that is, you know, give us Larry David and y'all can take back Shamik Moore. And the most important part of it is, or maybe I could school him some, get the retooling son. So what I'm saying is, like, we look at everything as cancel culture, and it's like, hold on, before we cancel, son, yeah, we mad, we in the moment, because we're like, how don't you respect and appreciate and acknowledge and have sympathy for everything Rosa Parks went through? Something went wrong when what you was being fed and told and taught. Let's fix that. Instead of throwing you outside to the wasteland, so we'll say, yo, cancel that moment, get rid of him. You know what I mean? Hold on. Or maybe I could school him some. Get the retooling son. And then the irony and the crazy part nobody caught is word to Miles Morales ignoring his father badges, because he played Miles Morales, the Spider-Man shit. And it's like, damn, Miles Morales was woke. He ain't fuck with his pops because his pops was police. You know what I mean? So he didn't like the fact that his pops was a cop, because he understood what all that was. So the irony is like, damn, bro, like you played a cartoon character that understood all this shit, but in your real life, you don't understand all this shit. You know what I mean? So like that was one of them Easter egg moments that a lot of people may not have caught. But I like that part a lot, where I said, you know, word to Miles Morales ignoring his father badges. Like, you played the motherfucker in the cartoon who got it. He got it. You know what I mean? But you don't get it in real life. All right, we're not going to cancel you, son, because you're a black man. You're a young black man. You're doing your thing. You ill. Let's just fix that. We don't got to cancel everybody. Let's just fix that. You know what I mean? Cancel motherfuckers who touch kids inappropriately and women inappropriately. Don't cancel this kid because he don't understand the depths of how amazing Rosa Parks was and what she went through. Just help the motherfucker. Now, if he don't want to listen and you schooling him and he like, oh, fuck out of here with that bullshit, then you can cancel that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? But like, he seems like an intelligent young man. I don't think he would say that. You know what I mean? So sit down with son and have a conversation. I don't know, son. I can't talk to him. But if you're around him as people, you blowing up his comments and DMs, give him some knowledge. You know what I mean? Retool him, school him some, instead of just canceling everybody. You know what I mean? So that's why that line is important, because it sounds like I'm clapping at son, but then Or maybe I should school them some, get the retooling. You know what I mean? Yeah.
So, verse 2, you said it all before they get flowers, buy you a set. And the scheme with 6'1", 215, obvious threat. So we both them from
Bodega Flowers, buy you a set, buy you what's left. Meaning like go get your flowers, right? Like go to the store and get a bouquet, get a set, get some flowers. Buy you a set, buy you what's left. Catch them all until it's credit galore, kindly in debt. Meaning like get all the flowers you can, even if you in debt at the corner store. Like, you know, and that's me using that as a metaphor, an analogy or whatever, but in the figurative sense of get them all till you in debt. You go to the corner store, yo, Poppy, let me, come on, son, let me, you know what I'm saying? All right, cool, Poppy, you pay me next time. Do that with the flowers. So what I'm just using as an analogy, so yo, get all the, that's just a very complex way of saying get all the flowers you can, you know, kindly in debt. It said it can't be that hard out of respect. I'm saying, all right, you can't be that hard to get your flowers. That's what y'all think? All right, I'm 6'1", 215, obvious threat. Meaning like you may look at me, you know, folks that don't want to give us their flowers and don't look like us may look at me and be like, oh, he's a threat. He's, you know, hold my bag in the elevator type shit. You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying next line. So a bouquet is always appreciated. You know what I mean? Like no one's going to turn that down. So I'm not going to turn down any love and appreciation you give me. And I'm the type that's going to give it right back and probably give it up before you even give it to me. That's just how I roll. That's just part of who I am. It's always appreciated, but it'll never be asked for. I'm not going to ask you for any of that. You know, for one, yo, son, you like my shit, right? You like, come on, give it up. I'm not that guy. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna let you say whatever it is and however you feel and let that be that. And then I'm gonna just take my credit and take my flowers and shit. You know what I'm saying? Never be asked for, but bet I react off was left on this crash course the moment you blast for. Everything front and center, I don't never reach back for. Make sure my people's lit up the front like the dashboard. Meaning like I don't gotta reach back and get my people's and show them they love and appreciation or take care of them because they right up front with me. It's not like I'm here and they back there. I gotta go get my man. Nah, like that's what I'm saying in that line. Like I don't never reach back for. I don't have to reach back. There's nobody back there because they right here with me. I made sure my people's lit up the front like the dashboard. You know what I mean? If there ain't a flower missing, there ain't a reason to snatch yours at all. Still in all, we clipping all, we clipping, we taking them shits, we clipping, we, you know what I mean? Still in all, we clipping all down to the ceiling falls, down till we get the shit to our level where we want. Down to the ceiling, we whatever the ceiling is, we got that. Down to the ceiling falls. Then it was just fun with the respect, died heads high, kill them with the nah, you know, with the Jamaican shit. That was cool. Flowers for who bout it, you know, twitching in their palm. Like flowers, give the flowers up for those who about it, who ain't maybe. Twitching in your palm is like you scared. Like you holding the joint and you scared, you twitching, you ain't really about it. You know what I'm saying? Like flowers for who about it, meaning like give the appreciation of flowers to the motherfuckers who's really about it. And I'm not talking about street shit. I'm just using it as an analogy, but anything, the ones who really deserve it. Flowers for who about it. Ain't no twitching in their palm. Reasoning surrounds it. Intuition get involved. And then the face man sneak off and blah, blah, blah. You know, maybe out of school of son, Miles Morales. In the middle of November, how I'm bumping Summer Madness. So it's November and I'm bumping Summer. Why is motherfucker bumping Summer Madness in November? I'm trying to remember a better time. You know what I mean? I'm trying to remember better times. So that's just kind of figurative in the sense of like remembering what once was, remembering when it was a better time, whether it's our neighborhoods, our culture, whatever. In the middle of November, how I'm bumping Summer Madness next to these Fort Greene high rises that's so attractive. I'm driving down Myrtle, passing by the P's, and you seeing all types of different people coming out of the P's. And the P's is still the P's on Myrtle. Like, you know what I'm saying? They still, I remember being over there getting Chinese and it was a shootout right outside and we ducking in the shop. This was not that long ago. You know what I'm saying? The P's is still the P's on Myrtle, but you got people coming in and out of there. You like, what they doing in there? Because they know, yo, this shit about to change like the mall. Get in now. Yo, get these shatterboards now because tomorrow they're going to be like 1,500. One, all right, let me get them now. You know what I mean? So it's the same thing, you know. These shattered backboards now, bro, because tomorrow it's just gonna be different. So it's the same thing, you know. Word to these Fort Greene high rises that's so attractive, more or less that you have it. Less is never more, but it'd be more than we'd imagine. Like less is never more, but the little bit that you give us is like, damn, that's more than we would have imagined that we could have got from y'all, motherfuckers. You know what I mean? Less is never more, but it'd be more than we'd imagine. Ceiling on the floor, truly yours, automatic, and every flower out the corner store wrapped in plastic. Believe that, you know, yeah.
Shout out to Farragut, 2 blocks away.
There you go.
From
absolutely
Legacy. All right.
Absolutely.
Raheem Devon.
That's my brother. Every time I hit him, he would it. He be hitting me. Like with this one. I think I announced that I was working. And he left a comment like, yo, I'm on the album, right? You know what I mean? Like, he left a comment like, yo, I'm going to be on the album, right? Like, you talking about a Grammy Award winning, you know, sell out, 10,000 people, everybody girl want to go home with him tonight. Like, this is an R&B superstar. And this is my brother. Shout out to Raheem. That's why he been on like 5 albums of mine. Every time we work, if I hit him or he'll hit me. And it's love. You know what I mean? And Raheem, he's like me. That more to write a hook in 30 seconds. You know what I mean? Like, so he,
what guidance did you give him for this hook?
Nothing. Okay. Yeah. I had already laid the rhyme down. That's why he's at the end. I had already laid all the rhymes down and I just sent it to him. And only thing I said was, I'm calling the song Something to Believe in. Because I got this weird thing about me when I do my albums. I always come up with all the titles first. You know, the titles never come during the process. Like I'll be just chilling, doing whatever in between albums. And I'll see some shit. I may look around and see Legacy. Oh shit, Legacy. Okay, I'm gonna name something Legacy. You know what I mean?
Please name it.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I may put the two together and say Legacy Forever. Boom, title. Like that. I'll walk around.
You need one more layer though to make that.
Yeah, all right. So let me look around and see all the free shit I can get and whatnot.
We talking about it.
Now I'm fucking around. But you know, like I'll be walking down the street and I'll see like a billboard or something up, and I'll be like, damn, okay. And that'll inspire this, which inspires that, which comes up with, you know, free jewelry. You know what I mean? Like, but I'll just write all these titles down in my phone. So now I'm sitting there with 14, 16 titles, and now I'm ready to make the album. Right. You know what I mean? And they all make sense and they become a story, and even the way you read them and whatever. So I had the title. I was like, I'm gonna make a song called Something to Believe in. You know, that happened months before I even wrote the record. And it was one of those titles I wrote in my notes section, and that was that. And that was the only guidance I gave him. And that song is one of my favorite records on the album. It's a song where if you see me in person, you see me live, I perform the record twice. You know, I perform it back to back. Once on the beat, produced by my man Mirk. And then right after it, I perform it over the actual Roy Ayers, Everybody Loves the Sunshine, which is one of my favorite records ever. I literally listen to that song once a day. It's like an apple a day keeps the doctor away. Like I listen to Everybody Loves the Sunshine once a day. I don't know why, but I can't let 24 hours go by without listening to it. So I perform the record twice, and the second time I do it over the actual song, and it blows people away. They're like, oh shit, because it's sunshine and it's something to believe in. Serenade stimulus. Everybody loves the sun, and it works seamlessly. It's one of my favorite records on the album, man. I feel like I could write a book on that song alone. Just breaking, like we could spend a half hour on that song alone, man. Like Something to Believe in, Serenade stimulus, running through a precinct. They sent my brother a check when he was doing a stretch. We laughed like, fuck it, if they dumb enough, then keep it. Like that happened, you know what I mean? He was like, yo, son, they just sent me one of them shits. I was like, word? Fuck it. He's like, they know I'm in here, right? Like, you know what I mean? He's calling me from in the joint. Like, they know I'm in here, right? I was like, I guess not. Like, fuck it. You know what I mean? Like,
you have a physical brother.
Two brothers.
Yeah,
2 younger brothers. I'm the oldest, man. Before my second brother was born, me and my first youngest brother, Stephon, we was like my brother and me. You know what I mean? Like, we used to always fuck with that show when it was out because that felt like that was us. You know what I mean? Like, I've talked about it on other records. I leave the house and my parents be like, take your brother with you. You know what I mean? So like my brother saw a lot because we 7 years apart. So, you know, I'm 14 and he's 7. You know what I mean? And he's coming outside. Take your brother with you. You know, like that was the era. It's different now because kids is on the computer and the iPad and shit. But like back then, you didn't want to be in the house. You was a square if you was in the house. You had to be outside. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, the parents had to come find you. Like my parents had to come outside and look for us. Like, yo, where they at, B? Like, we had the Chinese spot 3 blocks away. Like, where these motherfuckers at, man? Get in the house. Like, now you got to kick these motherfuckers out the house. You know what I mean? Like, they just want to be on YouTube. But, yeah, so Stephon, he's 7 years younger than me. So, you know, he saw a lot. You know what I mean? Whatever I saw outside, he saw it. He was just way younger seeing it, you know? So that opening line is one of my favorites. It's funny, man. I spoke to him today, too. It's funny, man, because he was in the joint when I wrote it. He got out, and he back in the joint now. You know what I mean? So, like, everybody in here, you know how I go. You know what I mean? Like, you know, my brother Stephon, you know, he in the mix. You know what I mean? This is, you know, like his 20th go-round, being honest. You know what I mean? Like, he in the mix. So he He's sitting down for a little while. You know what I mean? He called me today. Boom, boom. But he's my younger brother. Yeah, he's the middle child. You know what I mean? I'm the oldest, and he's the middle, and then Jaden is the youngest. But yeah, I sent my brother a check. We was doing a stretch. We laughed like, fuck it, if they dumb enough to keep it. What did I say after that? Keep it believing. Yeah, that's one of my favorite records, man. Back and forth, how they panned us.
Right.
All of us reaching, like, what? Like, all of us reaching back and forth, how they panned us. Because if you pan something in the speakers, it goes back and forth. All of this could be within arm's reach if you stand up. The irony of like arm's reach, stand up. But what I'm saying is all this could be in arm's reach if you just stand tall for it. If you stand up and go, whatever it is, if you get on your square, whatever it is, all of this could be within arm's reach if you stand up, seated well. And that's more like lyricism play, like arm's reach, stand up, seated, stand, seated. You know what I mean? Like that's just like straight lyricism. But and even though I'm telling a story behind it, just the play on those words, that's what lyricism really, really is about, as opposed to just saying, you could go get it if you go hard. I could have said it like that, but I said, all of this could be within arm's reach if you stand up, seated well, close enough where if you see a sail, you could reenact every latch down to the key itself. Like every latch, the key, like a door, latch key child, like, you know, you hear the saying, a latch key child, a key, like a key. So that's actually 3 right there, you know, down to the key itself. Beautifully attached till that latch tries to redeem itself, because copying keys turn to obvious leads, meaning like you copying the key to get into that same hole in that same door. The copying the key really being like you see these guys and you copying them and being who they are and trying to become them, right? And that leads to an obvious lead, like the obvious shit that all the shit they went through, you're gonna go through that if you copy that lead. You know what I mean? Copying keys turn to obvious leads. I'm not seeing what it's coming with. And they was off the ground. Part of me, how I be hovering and making all these rounds, like flying above you, hovering and making all these rounds. I be speaking for who come from it, straightening their crown. Like I'm speaking for all those who had to go through all that, endure all that. And I look at them as kings and queens because they was able to survive that. So when I'm speaking for them, I'm really straightening their crown. Like I'm reminding them, like, nah, you a king, you a queen. I'm getting you straight. You endured all this. You made it through all this, whether you had to do a bid, whether it's my brother, whoever he had to do a bid, whether you survived the street, whether you survived this, whatever. I be speaking for who come from it, straightening their crown. And a speech and a discussion that could tame all this shit down. Like there's nothing you could say that can erase what I'm saying and it's love that I'm showing to these people. You know what I mean? I be speaking for comfort, straightening their crown, and the speech and the discussion that could tame all this shit down. Where the wages and amounts and aiming from out of gift box. We a product of Ziplocs. They a product of TikToks. That's just speaking about different generations. Clock ticking, but not a tick on the wristwatch. Meaning, like if you're really getting it, you gotta watch that don't tick because it's a rollie. You outside, you getting tons of money where you can afford that. You know, clock ticking, but not a tick on the wristwatch in a space that's give and take, like a pit stop. Pit stop when you driving, you know, you on a road trip. Pit stop, you know, you getting gas, you chill, you know, you bathroom, whatever. It's kind of like literal give and take, like a pit stop, but being outside and just living in these neighborhoods is give and take. In a space that's give and take, like a pit stop. Know the whole scene from the match to the smoke screen to the wings on the end of that cloud, like Alfred Hitchcock. You know the picture of Alfred Hitchcock with super long cigar with the crow sitting on it. You know what I mean? You know that picture.
I don't know the picture.
Oh, it's
The silhouette.
No. It's Biggie redid it.
I'm the only one.
It's a very iconic photograph. Yeah, it's a black and white picture, right, and the dude. I know that, but the picture is from like here up, and the dude is sitting there. Alfred Hitchcock, he's sitting there looking like this, and he got the super like 2-foot cigar, and the crow is sitting on it. It's like a blackbird. It's literally standing on the cigar with his wings out. You know what I'm saying? I know the whole scene from the match to the smoke screen, from the shit that lit this shit and made it pop and made it hot out here to the smoke screen. Like shit is a smoke screen. Don't believe this shit. You know what I mean? Know the whole scene from the match to the smoke screen to the wings on the end of that cloud, like Alfred Hitchcock. The cigar, the smoke with the bird on the end of it, that's the wings. To the wings on the end of that cloud, like Alfred Hitchcock. Because everybody wants smoke. Now I'm going back to the smoke from the smoke screen, the smoke with the cigar with Alfred Hitchcock. And you want smoke. Yo, son, I want that smoke. You know what I'm saying? Everybody wants smoke till it comes with a halo. You know what I mean? So obviously, until you get killed, like heads want to smoke, then they, you know what I mean? Then the unthinkable happens. Everybody wants smoke till it comes with a halo. Rarely is it otherwise, but rarely do they say so. Like it never works the other way. It always goes bad, but they don't tell you it goes bad. That's what I'm saying. Then really, is it otherwise? But really, do they say so? Swear made sense to everyone who admires it. They tell you play the bench, but then show you the other side of it. They tell you, yo, stay over there, shorty. You don't want to get in the mix of this. But then they show you everything you get when you're in the mix of it. So you're like, fuck that, I'm getting off the bench. You know what I mean? I'm playing the game. Like, they tell you play the bench, but then show you the other side of it. Neighborhood routines, habits get involved, and what happens next door turn to black and red fours. I'm talking about Jordan fours. Like, what happens next door, heads next door is getting it. And everybody got the new J's. Everybody doing it. Everybody rocking. You know what I mean? What happens next door turn to black and red fours, block full of them. Like the whole block. You know what I mean? You know how it go. You know what I mean? Little babies come out the peas with fours on. You know what I mean? Like, or whatever the new J's, you know what I mean? It's been happening since before me. It's going to happen after me. You know what I mean? Like, you know, what happens next door turn to black and red fours, block full of them. But still it feels like a transition scene. It feels like something might change though. Gunning through traffic for what's meant to be. I intervene like the record stopped short before we hit repeat. Shit, all we wanted was to hit repeat. That's figurative and literal in the sense of like, I intervene like the record stopped short before. Like all we wanted was for the shit to go again, but I intervene and break down what it really is before the shit could come around and play again, as far as these scenarios that we go through. I intervene like the record stopped short before we hit repeat. So all we wanted was to hit repeat. Disbelief covering the room, smothered in the groove, trapped inside a growth spurt, covered in cocoons. You know, butterfly, covered in cocoons, erratic with your aim, so your humbleness ensues. You spring into your deathbed, you jumping up to lose. Like, you know what I mean? Deathbed, springing, jump. You jumping up to lose. We was running up in Sue's Rendezvous, closed down, historic strip club. We was running up in Sue's. Swear it was Christmas Eve on the reach, how we move, planning to clear a rack out a piece. So a rack being $1,000, I'm spending at least $1,000 a here tonight. But on Christmas Eve, you clearing the rack out like a parent is clearing the rack out, getting all the toys off the rack, off the shelf. Planning to clear a rack out a piece, meaning like we spending $1,000 a piece. I'm here, you here, hey, yo, we getting it. That's just me painting the scene of like, yo, we doing it tonight. You know what I mean? That's just me using a very extravagant, complex, layered way of saying we doing it tonight. But that's always been my calling card. Like I could just say, yo, we and Sue's doing it. I'd rather say, you know, clearing a rack out like Christmas Eve, clearing a rack out a piece, minimum. Like that's the bare minimum. My minimum reads that subliminal reach back, envision a key rap, like envision a key, like, you know, you see kilos and you have those dreams. And I've talked about that on other records. Envision a key rap, relapse, being the top tier, whether through experience or being you not there, like you envisioning the top tier, whether you're at the top tier or you're not even there and you're jealous of it. You know what I mean? Whether through experience or being you not there. Me and this part is pretty literal. Me and the drop Jeep, the sweetest of box seats, the speakers is knocked down, the diva is not need. Then they get complex. I mean, you can get that part. That part's pretty literal. But calls for a parade, Commodores ablaze, crowds sing comfortably, harmonies and waves. That part is pretty complex. So like calls for a parade, like celebrating. You out here, me and the drop Jeep, the sweetest of box seats, the speakers is knocked down, the diva is not need. Like, damn, this motherfucker doing it. He in a good truck. The top is down. The speakers is going crazy. He got a good joint with him, good female. They chilling. Yo, he doing it. Yo, we got to applaud that motherfucker. That's neighborhood shit. You know what I'm saying? Calls for a parade, like applause. Calls for a parade. Commodores ablaze. Crowds sing comfortably, harmonies and waves. So you got the Commodores, the singers. Then you got the Commodore cigars. So calls for a parade. Commodore cigar is the Jay-Z cigar, the Cohiba that he did. It's called the Commodore. It's like a $60 cigar. It's like $60 a stick. So calls for a parade. Commodores ablaze. Crowds sing comfortably, harmonies and waves. So like the Commodore part with the cigar, but then also the singing group, the Commodores, the crowd sing comfortably, like the crowd is singing in the literal sense of like the Commodore is actually singing, but then also in the sense of the crowd is singing your praises, like, yeah, that motherfucker doing it, you know what I mean? Crowd sing comfortably, harmonies and waves, like the crowd waves. Part of me is Most Def, part of me is Mace. So my jewelry beyond, but my aura Rika Sage. Like I could do this, but I understand all this. And there's not a lot of people that's in that mix like that. You know what I mean? Like it's always one or the other. Motherfuckers who do this don't be comfortable around this. Motherfuckers who do this don't be comfortable around this. You know what I mean? Whereas I'm in the mix, you know, and a lot of it is because of how I grew up, like I said in the beginning. Part of me is Most Def, part of me is Mace, so my jewelry beyond, but my aura Rika Sage. positives and black pride and all the shit I praise, or hammers in the glove box that draw and then erase. Like, it's both. Like, yeah, I'll be on my positive shit and but if it come down to it for my family, it is what it is. I'm licensed. I have multiple in the house, blah, 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? So, like, part of me is you get all that, hammers in the, and I like that line too, hammers in the glove box that draw and then erase. You know what I mean? Like, you draw, you erase, you draw, you erase whoever's in front of you. You know what I mean? That was fun.
Who's pointing at you?
No. That was pointing at the couch. That was fun.
That's a good couch right there.
Yeah.
So listen, like when you're a Skyzoo fan and you catch a line, it's like watching like Jeopardy. You get an $800.
That's great. That's a great way to put it. That's a great way to put it.
I think I got one.
Okay.
So humble brag.
Yeah.
Backseat of my Jeep, swinging episode, double park in front of the park, but it's left alone. I mean, there's no way you can be going anywhere else but the LL Cool J song. Is there anything
of
else
course,
going?
Yeah, no.
Is that it?
Well, no. So what I'm saying, backseat of my Jeep, swinging episode, double parked in front of the park, but bet it's left alone. So what I'm saying there, I'm talking about the neighborhood and how it changed, but I'm talking about how I'm not gonna change. So I use the LL shit for sure. Backseat of my Jeep with a chick, but if I'm double parked in front of the park and I'm in the backseat of my Jeep with a girl, but doing whatever I want to do, you're not telling me to move because I've been here forever. So that's me kind of being stubborn and you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, yo, I've been here forever. Like, I'm not changing. I was doing this before, whether it's that or, eating Chinese on the step or whatever. Like, I've been doing this. I'm not changing because it has moved in. You know what I'm saying? So backseat of my Jeep, swinging episode, double parked in front of the park, but bet it's left alone. Like, but I still move like they not here while knowing they got here by playing off our fear. So I'm where I'll be more Mookie versus the Chandlers and Rosses, and that's pretty blatant. Like, I'm more like Mookie, guy from neighborhood, been around forever, and I'm showing more love to Spike. Chandlers and Rosses moved in the neighborhood, and I'm surrounded by Strike Dunhams. I'm surrounded by the guys that's outside getting to it. You know what I mean? If you know the movie, Clockers and all that. So I'm saying I'm like Mookie. These guys are moved into the neighborhood as like friends, like, like Chandler and Ross. And my friends are fucking Strike Dunhams. My friends are the guys outside getting to it. These are the guys I grew up around. Like my man who called me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, these are the guys I grew up around. So Strike Dunhams that are hand you endorsements, or obviously I'm just talking about work. So they hand you a portion the same way that I can hand you a portrait. Same way that I can hand you this scene, this beautiful art scene of what's going on. It's just as quick as they could hand you something for $10. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's the same thing, It's like, hand you a portrait the same way that I can hand you a portrait. Swear to God, it's like my hand is a godsend. Word to God, I handle the guarded more arm and armed with the same hand that I pour with God. And that's just more lyricism. And I'm telling a story there, but I'm doing it in a very lyrical, unique way. And, same hand that I pour with God. Praise due to the smaller apartments and running to stay up in them regardless. Humble brag. So, like, these small ass apartments that we in New York, but we love home. My pops always had this saying, and I tell people all the time, and it's something I'm gonna raise my son with too. My pops always said, you just want to make it home. Right? Like, my pops was in the street and all that, and he changed his life around, but he was a street guy. And he always said, yo, when you're outside the street, you just want to make it home. You could be in a mix. You could be on a train and get into it with some kids. You could be pumping. You could be getting chased by police. You could have issues with rival crews, whatever it is. You just want to get home. It's something about home. It's the safest place you'll ever feel. That's why they say if you're not safe at home, you act a lot of it. Whether you're a child being abused by your family, or you and your spouse not rocking, or whatever it is, if you home is supposed to be sacred haven. You know what I mean? You just want to get home. Like, it could be an awful day, the weather could be bad, whatever it is, you be in school, whatever it might be, horrible day at work. I just want to get to home. That's why home is supposed to be perfect. Home's supposed to be the best place you have. And you're not supposed to let nobody come in your home and make you feel no way. You don't never feel afraid or scared or shook up or not comfortable in your home. You know what I mean? Even if you feel that way around other people and other places, not your home. You know what I mean? So that's what, he always would be like, yo, you just want to make it home. Home is everything. So that's me saying on there, praise due to the smaller apartments and running to stay up in them regardless. Like, regardless of how small his home is, we're just trying to get back home. Whatever we in the mix doing, whether it's good or bad or indifferent, we're just trying to make it home. Because if you make it home, that means you made it. You know what I mean? That means you made it through the day. That means you made it. You survived the day. Whether you're doing the wildest shit in the world, or you just go to work every day for 8 hours and go, you know what I mean? You just want to get home. So, and I'm showing the appreciation of our homes regardless of how small they are, regardless of how beat up they are, and regardless of how quickly these people trying to take them from us.
And raise the rent and
Absolutely, without a doubt, absolutely. $1 million if you're lucky. You know what I mean? $1 million if you're lucky. You know what I'm saying? Like
last year's.
You know what I'm saying? Like
prices, right?
lucky. You know what I mean? And then the second verse goes a bunch of places, and yeah.
So should have been a trap rapper.
Yes.
So what was when you first started to say 05, 06, what was your vision in terms of your career? What do you think success was back then, and did it ever change?
It definitely changed. Here's the thing. Anybody who gets in the game and tells you, yo, man, I ain't care about no awards. I ain't care about being on the cover of a magazine or the radio. They lying. Like anybody, like talking about when they first started rhyming, they lying. Like we all came into this with visions of grandeur. The difference is, what are you willing to go through to get that?
Mm-hmm.
Where does your shit stop at? Some people don't have no cutoff point. You know, it's people like, I'll do whatever. Put on a dress, but I'll do whatever. You know what I'm saying? I just gotta get in this. I gotta get on. And some people like me is like, I ain't doing all that. Like I'm stopping here. Like these are my morals. This is where I stand as a man looking in the mirror. I'm not crossing this line right here. Some people be like, that line ain't that far. I could just cross that. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, you know, back to the question, just giving you that kind of breakdown to understand it. You know, my idea back then was, you know, superstar, you know what I'm saying? The biggest rapper ever, 05, 06. You talk about, man, there was this gap from like 03, 04 to like 06 when Jay retired. And everybody's goal coming up at that point, whether you was on or not, was taking that spot. He was gone. He was retired. Especially if you was from New York. That was the moment where like every major label signed a solo New York rapper. There was 1 million of them. You know what I mean? A lot of them are still active, still doing good things, they're still running around. There was 1 million of them. Every major label had their solo New York rapper that they was going to put the building behind and put them on the R&B remix and put them on this and get DJ so-and-so to do his tape, and he was going to go because Jay was home chilling. You know what I mean? So like everybody's ideas for success, especially at that point, because you said 05, 06, everybody's ideas for success was that. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's guys who are still running around or may have gotten this far or that far, or guys like me who you may know personally and other friends of ours, everybody's idea was that. It was to, yo, be that next guy. I'm going to be one. New York is back. You know what I mean? Like that. But, you know, that was what it was, you know? So for me, I definitely had the idea of, you know, super duper huge success story and selling millions of records and on the radio, but doing shit my way, you know? So once I knew making the type of music I made wasn't going to be radio and da-da-da-da-da because of the game that the industry or the game that the game plays, to sound, you know, not to sound weird because, you know, the game that the game plays, but I was like, fuck it, I don't care. This is what I'm representing. These stories, these people, these lives, this lifestyle, this is what I'm representing. You know what I mean? These are the stories I'm telling. I grew up on Liquid Swords. I grew up on Only Built for Cuban Links. I grew up on Illmatic. I grew up on Reasonable Doubt, Ready to Die. Like, this is how I'm doing it. Now, if me doing it this way turns into me selling 5 million records and I can't walk out the house without being swarmed by little kids, so be it. But if it don't, so be it. Like, because this is what I stand on. This is what I'm doing. This, I feel musically, lyrically, creatively, and as far as the literature side of it, this is what I was put here for. So if it worked this way, cool. If it don't, I'm not going to starve. I'm fine. I know how to get what I got to get. I'm going to be fine. And that's from that side of it, that's summing up my career. Like, I haven't had a quote unquote job, a 9 to 5 since 2006. I got fired in 2006 and I said, never again. And I never went back. You know what I mean? And that's not a flex. That's motivation. Like, I literally got fired. You know the story from For What It's Worth on the Salvation. I got fired from Morgan Stanley, and I was like, I'm done. And I remember telling my mother was pissed because my mother was a worker. My mother had a job since she was 15. Like, she don't play. You know what I mean? Like, she had 2 jobs, Green Acres Mall, you know, Macy's, and you know what I mean? My mother always, you know, World Trade Center at the Gap. My mother don't play. She's about going to work. And then when I told her I got fired, she was pissed. And I was like, Mom, I'm not going back to work. And she was more pissed. You know what I mean? She was like, are you nuts? Skylar, you nuts? What are you talking about? I was like, Mom, I'm never looking for another job again. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, my mother was pissed. And I was like, I'm not doing it. And I ain't do it. You know what I mean? So, and now she's super proud, of course, but, you know, she was just being a great mother. She's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? You ain't looking for no job. Like, this rap shit. What you talking about? I was
What
like,
was the album or the year that she was like, oh, okay, I get it.
she got it from day one.
Mm.
I think she got it before anybody. I remember when I was 9. I started rhyming when I was 9. And I remember telling my mother, after Chi Ali, AJ Ain't Nothing But a Number went off, I remember telling my mother, I said, Mom, I want to do that. And she said, do it. I believe in you, do it. And I said, yeah. I tell you my age, I really was 9 because I was like, yeah, I'm going to be a rapper during the day. I'm going to be Spider-Man at night. Dead ass. And if she was here, she'll tell you. And she was like, do it. She was like, do it. That's great. I believe in you. You know what I mean? Like, so she was with it from day one, but you know, you're going to being a great parent means making sure your kid is right and protecting them and not just feeding into their dreams where some of them are real and some of them are fairy tales. So, you know, if my son was like, I ain't going to work no more, I'm like, what do you mean you're not going to work? You know what I mean? I'm like, all right, so what you going to do if you're not working? What's the plan? You're going to open up a little this, you're going to set up a Shopify and do what you going to do? You know what I mean? Like, that's what I would tell Miles, you know what I mean? So I understood why she said that, you know. Yeah, she was with it from day one, but me getting fired was like, what the fuck? Like, you're 06, I was 23, going on 24, something like that. I ain't had no record deal, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm running around with some guy named Ninth Wonder in her eyes. She's like, oh, some guy named Ninth Wonder in North Carolina. Like, what? You don't got no job? What you mean? Nah, you know, go to North Carolina. What? What do you mean? Like, who gonna buy the flight? You know what I mean? Like, so, you know, but, you know, I'm a superstar in my mother's eyes, and my mother's my biggest fan, so it's love. But you know, yeah. But I don't know how we got all the way over here, but it's cool. You know what I'm saying? It's cool. It don't bother me, but I'm trying to circle back. Yeah. Always talking about I was supposed to be a trap rapper.
Right.
Yeah.
Right,
please
right.
go for it. Go ahead.
Well, this is a favorite part of mine,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because I mean, at the end of the song, you switch up a flow.
And get into the trap shit.
Yeah, you show that you can do anything.
That
right?
I wasn't lying when I said I was supposed to be a trap rapper.
Right.
Yeah.
But before that, you say somebody I write for.
Said, yo, let it breathe. They don't deserve all that work that you be setting free.
Right.
That was a real conversation.
You're a ghostwriter.
Yeah, everybody knows that. Yeah.
Everybody.
No, because I talk about it on Mad Records.
Not everybody in TV land knows you yet.
That's true.
It's gonna be here
That's
forever
true.
on YouTube.
You're right. So I'm a ghostwriter. I write for a good amount of people outside of writing for myself. And I was writing for somebody. I was in a session with somebody very, very, very prestigious. And I was writing or whatever. We was just, you know, music shit. You're in the studio just talking, vibing. It was talking about my music. And they was telling me how much they love my music and all that. And they was like, yo, man, you so crazy. You don't even gotta go as crazy. And you'll still be crazy. You know what I mean? Pretty much like tone, like, yo, you could tone it down if you wanted, and these motherfuckers still can't hang with you. You know what I mean? And he was like, yo, they don't even deserve all that shit you be doing. Like, the way you go, they don't even deserve all that shit, bro. You know what I mean? And I was like, you're right. But I followed it up with, you know, I could dumb it down like Lupe say, you know what I mean? I could, you know, I said, they don't deserve all that work to be setting free. I said, I could, but if I don't, then they don't get to leave. You know what I mean? If I don't dumb it down, then they don't get to leave. They don't get to walk out the room. Like, oh, I got that already. I get it. Could, but if I don't, then they don't get to leave. Nor do they get to ignore what the message be. Meaning, like, if I don't dumb it down, now they faced with the message. Now they're faced with everything that I'm saying. Now they have to deal with all of these things that I'm bringing to the table on this album or the album before that or whatever. They're forced to be in here. They can't leave the room yet because they didn't really digest it all yet. Right. They didn't get it on the first listen or the second listen. They have to sit here and live with it. They have to face what I'm talking about. They have to break it down. They have to understand it. They have to hold themselves as listeners to a higher standard. You know what I mean? So, and then he was like, you're right. You got a point. You know what I mean? Like, and then we just kept working. I just kept writing. And so that's what that meant. But that song is loaded, man. That's a very heavy song. Please go ahead.
Talk about bottle service rightfully in the picture in my morning afterwards playing Ninth Beach for strippers. Yeah. So you're also in the song saying like y'all got me fucked up a little bit.
Yeah. Like, you know, literally like I'm, you know, early 20s and I'm hanging out with, you know, what would be considered IG girls and, you know, we kicking it and, you know, we on that type of time and I'm playing them, you know, ninth beats, literally. You know what I mean? And I'm like, yo, what you think of that? Oh, that's dope. And they may not have even heard of Son. yo, what's that? But who else is saying that? Who else was living that type of life? That's just how tug of war my life was when it comes to this. Because the idea that of I was supposed to be a trap rapper was, all right, so here's the backstory. I've explained it in a couple interviews, but for those who may not have seen them, here's the backstory. So the same friend I was talking about on Rich Rhetoric who called me when he got out the joint. Like a month later, he calls me. We kicking it, boom, boom, boom. He was like, yo, I need your help. I'm trying to fuck with the music shit. All right, what you trying to do? He's like, yo, man, I'm gonna take this money, do the right thing with it. So last time could be my last time, whatever. He was like, but the business side, right? Like, I don't know shit about the music industry. I've been outside all my life, whatever. You the music guy to all of us. You the one who did that and made it and everything is great. He's like, yo, if I need to get with certain DJs or find producers or do certain shit, you can help me out. I was like, cool, yeah, of course. You my man since forever, cool. So he was like, yeah, I'm fucking with these kids. I got these young kids, Brooklyn kids, and we doing they do the drill shit. Mm-hmm. So he was like, yo, they do. He literally said, he was like, they do the drill shit, and I know you do the skateboard backpack shit. Oh, wow. You know what I'm saying? It's a different type of thing. But if you could help me, I know it's a different lane. And I said, son, I never made a skateboard record in my life. You know what I mean? Like, I all my records is about us. Like, Steele's apartment was about this same guy. His house was Steele's house. You know what I mean? So he laughed and he was like, nah, son, you know what I mean? He was like, I ain't mean it like that. I was like, of course, I'm just fucking with you, whatever. So we laughed about it. I was like, I get what you're saying. You know what I mean? He was like, you make the traditional real shit. You make the dope shit, the real shit. This the drill shit that these motherfuckers are spending money on. I'm trying to get this money. You know what I mean? If I need a plug on something, let me, can I hit you? I was like, of course. So I hung up the phone and I was like, yo, my fans, my core would never know this type of conversation happens with this type of individual who's running around and doing this, and one of these guys in New York City going crazy outside. And I got a million of those guys around me. Yeah, they would never know because you think I'm a rap nerd, you know what I mean? And I was like, all right, let's address that. And that's where the idea came from. And the title says it all. I was supposed to be a trap rapper. And the title hit me in the head. Like I said, it's always the titles. I just see the title first. And it just hit me. Boom. I was supposed to be a trap rapper. And I was like, oh, shit. Imagine looking at a track list and you see that. That's amazing. Right. And then I called J.R. Swift and I had the same conversation with him. And I was like, bro, I want you to make the beat. For whatever reason, I was like, this sounds like you. Like, this would be your beat. He was like, bet, and he cooked it up. And, I had the idea for the sample and, he cooked it up and all that. And I did it. You know what I mean? I was supposed to be a trap rapper, mistaken identity, sat me with the backpackers, made it all comfortable, sweet as a redeemer. Like, I'm all right, cool. Y'all put me here. I made myself at home. You know what I mean? Like, sweet as a redeemer. Anybody who redeemed themselves with you, that shit is sweet. Like, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You did fuck up, sweet as a redeemer. Duncan or Blade Brown, I'm still leaving with Demeter. So from Class Act, Duncan, Blade Brown, how they swap places. And, Demeter was the dark-skinned bad joint, you know what I mean? So, who was also in Boys in the Hood. Duncan or Blade Brown, I'm still leaving with Demeter. That's just me flexing a little bit. Like, no matter what side of the fence I play, I'm going to still be me and get who and what I want and be myself, Shout out to who came around when I was speaking through your speakers on wanting to stay down in the beliefs that would feed us. Like, this turned into that. Return of the Pack, where it follow you forever like a murder's attached. Like, this turns into that. Like, you do this and it's going to lead to that. And who you are, that's just going to follow you forever like a murder attack. You catch a murder, that should stick with you forever, whether somebody know or not. You know what I mean? Like, follow you forever like a murder's attached. I was front row seats for what you heard in my raps, jumping in and out the ring like an emergency tap. I got us. Like, I was front row seats, but the moment my peoples needed me, yo, Sky, tap in. All right, I got you. What's up? You know what I mean? Like, so it goes on and on and on throughout the record. And, the nerve of me trying to flood Fulton Street with Dilla beats. Like, I was making mixtapes with Dilla beats, regular job. Nobody knew me. I was rhyming over Dilla instrumentals and putting them. I wasn't putting them on, whatever the pages were back then. You know what I mean? I was never even on OK Player until I kind of got on. But I was using these Dilla instrumentals that were OK Player's Wet Dream. I was putting these shits on Jamaica Ave and Fulton Street. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was putting these shits in the white t-shirt spot. You know what I mean? Bikina, right, and all that. You know what I'm saying? I was putting them in. It's ill you brought up Bikina because I used to be in there all the time. And I was giving him mixtapes hosted by K Slade with Dilla beats on them. You know what I mean? Like
Kanye Beats, right? Did I make that?
there was a Ye joint back in '04 that I got through somebody. You know what I mean? Because '04 I had a regular job and my man was like, yo, I got this Ye Beat CD. Word? Yeah. You want one? Hell yeah, I want one. You know what I mean? Just that type of shit, you know, just going balls to the wall, like fuck it. Yeah, whatever. But you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, Corner Store Classic was hosted by K Slay and there was Dilla instrumentals on it. No one else ever did that. That'll never happen. You know what I mean? Like nobody was on that type of time in between these two worlds except me. So now when you start seeing guys move in a similar way, that's why I'll be like, yo, I started that. Like I invented that. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of guys out here who are some of the biggest artists the game has right now. And a lot of them came to me and was like, yeah, bro, you made me comfortable doing that. It was you. When you started doing that, I was like, yo, that's ill. That's me. Y'all want to do that too. You know what I mean? It just so happened that they was able to go a certain place because they had a certain connect or or manager, whatever it may be, and that's fine. Like the cards lay out the way God wanted them to lay out. So I'm cool. You know what I mean? Like I said, how can I be a Paul when they was raised by me? You know? So you know, the song came about in that way. And I knew it would be a banger. It's to join everybody spazzes about at the show. I was curious about the trap part at the end. I was curious about how that would go, you know, and it went overwhelmingly well. You know, I've never heard one person be like, fucking trap shit at the end, man. Motherfuckers should have just rhymed those more fucking boom bap. Like, motherfuckers was hitting me like on the comments, like, yo, you gonna make a trap album now? Because that shit would be crazy. And I was like, not doing that because there's a thing called branding. And it would kill my brand if I jumped out the window and did something like that. But I appreciate the fact that I was able to pull that off in such a way that my core fan base, who's Dilla heads and LB heads and Doom heads and Pete Rock heads and all that, could be like, yo, he did some trap shit, but I fuck with it. That shit was kind of crazy. How you do that? And again, it's something a lot of heads can't do. Like heads they in one world and they try to jump to another world and it don't go over right, you know? And it's just, I saw some shit today and I was like, oh, word? Like I saw somebody do something today. I was like, wow, like they jumped out the window on that and that didn't go right. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, but you know, that was fun. And my man Sam Illy did that second half. I called him. I told him the same story. I said, I just need a trap beat. But he was like, I got a bunch. And he sent me, he's the same dude who did Everybody's Fine on the Celebration of Us. And he made the trap beat. He was like, yeah, I got those too. As a producer, you got more wiggle room.
Right.
As a producer, you can make a Kendrick emo joint today, then you can make a Skyzoo joint, then you can make a trap Future joint, and nobody's gonna really judge you like that unless you're making beat tapes and, you know, beat albums like my man Apollo Brown and shit. You know, then you have a brand in that regard. But if you're a producer, you got more wiggle room. So he was like, yeah, I got a bunch of them shits. And he sent me that. I wrote that shit 3 a.m. in 10 minutes. I was in the basement studio and he sent it. I was like, oh, this shit is great. I was like, let me do this shit right now. It was 3 a.m. I was up fucking around PlayStation something. And I was like, you know what? Let me do this shit right now. Paper made, trying to poke something, bag on me, I can float something, docked on it like a boat coming, plug paid, I don't owe nothing. Thank God how the snow coming. Thank God. And even with that, it was doubles, right? It was like, thank God how the snow coming. Thank God how the stove jumping. Name another tag team that can stand still with show running. I'm talking about me and God when I say the tag team. So the key of that was to be like as like blatant and wild as possible on some traps, because that's what trap is. Motherfuckers just saying whatever, you know what I'm saying? Fucking bitches with the 9 on me, got the time on me. Like you just saying it's like the trap shit. It's like, damn, motherfucker really said that, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I was like, I gotta go there with it, but I'm still gonna be me and have these doubles and all that in there. So I said, name another tag team that can stand still and show running. I'm talking about me and God, because right before that I said, you know, thank God how the snow coming, thank God how the stove jumping. Who says, you know, me and God, name a better hustling tag team than me and God? Like, that's some super outlandish shit. But trap shit is super outlandish shit. So I had to, like, stick with that time, you know what I mean? Name another tag team that can stand still but show, run it, see, far the grip. Know that I got it to give. Cop work with a go yard, treated as part of the flip. Drug sales come with shooters. And model bitches to maneuver. Y'all made it cool to be the user, so I get paid to be the loser. Fuck it. Like, the druggies is the cool guys nowadays. Where you hear Jay-Z and Nas on guys talk about all the time. Where like it was reversed. Like, and back in the day, you admired the motherfuckers selling, not copping. The motherfucker copping was a crap. It was like, this motherfucker copping work, but whatever, cool. Make $10, you know. But Now the motherfuckers that's hot is the motherfuckers popping pills and copping and shooting. Cool. Like, y'all made it cool to be the user, so I'll get paid and be the loser. Fuck it. Type of time, my eye on, clock leaning like a sidecar, birds moving like bygones, part traffic like Zion, fly pelican, fly on, something like Zion, you know, Zion Williamson, part traffic, you know, when you come in the yam, whatever. Fly pelican, fly on, bird, pelican, Zion, the pelicans, the bird, the actual bird, or the bird is in the key, you know. Birds moving like bygones, part traffic like Zion, fly pelican, fly on, wings on them, let them take flight, hit a sample with a box cutter, tongue numb, what it tastes like, work come in. All right, cool, yeah, that's live. Well, that shit trash. What's up? You know what I mean? You know, 500 for a bottle here, 450 for a bottle there. No, 500 for a bottle here, $50 for a bottle there, 450 worth of sparklers. Like, when you go to the club, you pay $500 for a bottle. At the liquor store, the bottle $50. So you're really paying the real shit. That's real. Like, the same bottle, $50 in the liquor store is $500 in the club. So you're paying $450 for the moment. You're paying $450 for the sparklers and the two broads that come out with 100,000 followers on the gram each to bring the bottle to you and have the sparklers and the DJ be like, yo, motherfucker, Skyzoo doing it. He just bought 2 bottles of Henny. Shout to him. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what you're paying for with that extra $450. You know what I'm saying? So I said $450 worth of sparklers. That's what that means. Make this whole shit change, right? Like, you paid the extra $450 in the club to do it, but damn, that whole moment changed. You know what I'm saying? Like, make this whole shit change, right? Then there's a part it fades out because I kept going, like, I kept rhyming. There was like 2 or 3 more bars, but I faded it out because I was like, this shit is really flagrant, and a lot of my fans got kids and they listen to the album with the kids in the car. So I blatantly faded it out, like, you know what I'm saying, in the moment. But I said, make this whole shit change, right? Change like who you bitch want, forever the vibes. Said if I could fuck her all night, that the pussy get better with time, and I do oblige. Trap star like Kyrie, trap me in the corner, right? Handle that like, pardon me. Reach for it, hit the floor, right? So when I'm performing at the show, I do the whole shit. But I just felt like the whole, like, you know, change like who you bitch want, forever the vibes. Said if I could fuck her all night, that the pussy get better with time, and I do oblige. I was like, that's a hell of a line. I thought about selling it on some ghostwriting shit. I was like, I could probably sell that to somebody. So I was gonna save it. I was like, I could sell that to so and so who I've been writing for, or such and such already. I'll probably sell that shit. Then I was like, nah, I'm gonna put it on there because I want to do it at the shows. But I just felt like it was too harsh because I got fans who got kids and they bumped the album in the car with the kids, and they would have been really surprised. Like, I don't not curse, you know what I mean? Like, I curse when I feel like it's needed, but I just was like, I don't want parents being like, damn, I didn't expect Sky to go there. If he throw a fuck or shit or, you know, whatever, motherfuckers every now and then, that's cool. My little 10-year-old is okay, but damn, said if I could fuck her all night, that the pussy get better with time. It just would have hit him out of nowhere, like, whoa,
Keep on saying it too.
Well, because we on the live, you know what I mean? But you know, I'm just explaining. But you know, I just felt like they might have been like, "Ooh, that shit came out of nowhere. Ooh, what's up with Sky?" You know what I mean? So I purposely faded that part out. But I like that line a lot, though. I thought about selling it. I was like, yeah, it's a nice line. I could sell this. But anyway, yeah, that's one of my favorite.
You can
songs.
create a couple of layers and sell one of the layers of that line. You know,
I might. Yeah, okay. Yeah. I could sell the line, and then whoever spit it. It's like, oh, you heard how they flip the Skyzoo shit? I could do that too. You know what I'm saying? Like how I flip a J line or a Nas line.
So like in 6 months, go to Rap Genius or something like that. Look at that line, you're gonna figure out who's Sky.
Right. Nah. Now I can't sell it.
Right. I messed up the bag. All right. It's my bad.
I'll get another.
So bro plugs and connections. And this is, I mean, obviously you've been spazzing, but I feel like by track 9, I feel like you really are going in.
Okay.
And the flow is
is
getting really just amazing.
Well, thank you. Well, the thing about the album, it's a roller coaster because it starts with the way the neighborhood and the culture was, and it ends with the way the neighborhood and culture is now. So you're going on this whole ride. So by this point of the album, the neighborhood has changed. In the beginning, I'm talking about what the neighborhood was and Now we're past the middle. You know what I mean? Like, we're past the middle, and we're getting to like tail end of the album, and it's like, yo, like, shit really changed, you know. Plugs and connections being like, we don't know what we don't know. So I remember, like I said in the verse, brownstone owner offered my pops to buy the building. He was 34, a little too young to find that appealing. Now he sit behind me and he reflect on what was left, but now he own a restaurant in Atlanta, so no regrets. I remember when right on St. James, when the dude who owned the brownstone offered my pops to buy it. Man, I'm getting ready to sell it, blah, 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 blah. He really liked my pops. He was an older white guy. He really liked he was like a grandfather, and he's like that age. He really liked my pops. And he was like, yo, man, would you be interested in buying it? My pops was 34. My pops didn't know no better. You know what I mean? Like at the time, 34 seemed like an old man. 34 is nothing. Like I'm 38. Like 34 is nothing. But when you 14, you're like, my pops is fucking old, fucking 34. You know what I'm saying? Like I was 14 when my pops was 34. So at 34, my pops didn't know, like he regrets it all the time. Like we'll sit down and crack a Henny and chill out. He'll be like, God damn it, I should have bought that place on St. James. Once in a while, he'll come out, God damn it, St. James. You know how much money you have right now, that $3 million, $4 million brownstone. Granted, my pops is doing very, very well. But that's why I said on the song, but now you own a restaurant in Atlanta, so no regrets. Like it worked out. But everybody's not that lucky. You know what I mean? So that's why the follow-up line, so no regrets, but won't forget what might have been. Clientele piling in, the clientele being like the new neighbors. And nobody resembling nobody we out here with. Like nobody who's the new clientele now, the neighborhood resembles none of us who was out here. You know what I mean? Like, look at how much this shit changed that we could have been a part of. So it's just this, the symbolism is we don't know what we don't know. And we're not taught about those types of things. You know what I mean? My pops taught me about that stuff once he had the experience. Like, yo, I touched that fire. It was hot. Let me show you what to do. Or, yo, I did this and it didn't work. Let me show you what to do. Or I missed out on that look. Let me show you how not to miss out. That's what great parenting is about. Nobody told my pops about real estate and all that stuff. He had to learn on the fly. You know what I mean? So, dude offered him the building. Like, yo, whatever it costs. I don't know what it was, but back then, it was a fraction of what it is now. But, yo, boom, boom. And my pops didn't know. So he was just like, I don't know, Mr. So-and-so. I don't know. You know what I mean? And it didn't go down. Now, later on, when we moved to Queens, we moved to Southside. By that point, my pops knew. So my pops got the house in Southside. And when it was time to sell that, he sold that motherfucker and got it right. Because he knew from experience. So plugs and connections is like, what I'm saying is if you don't have those plugs and connections to know how this shit works, from gentrification and all that type of shit, and our culture and what's being taken from us, you're going to forever be drowning, and that's how they want it. We don't know. I mean, you can't blame somebody for not knowing what they don't know. You know what I mean? So that's the basis of the song. Plugs and connections. Grew up hearing non-prescription drugs was an investment. Boom. That's pretty literal right there. Grew up hearing non-prescription drugs was an investment. Dreams is semi-auto, but your runs is fully tested. Like this dream, this shit may work, but this shit outside seem more of a definite. You know what I mean? Dreams is city owned, but your runs is fully tested. Learn to make a way to what you love or what you left with, and love the unexpected. Learn to love what you live with. Jump in front of your building like jumping, protecting what you love. So you jump in front of your building like jumping in front of your children. Like when you see your kid outside get hit by a car, you protect. You know what I mean? You protect your kid. So now you running outside protecting your building that way. Like, yo, like this is what we love. This is home. So what I'm saying, I'm talking about us protecting home and loving home,
The scrimmage.
Yes.
Why you call it the scrimmage?
It was a title that came to my head, and this all just feels like a scrimmage. It feels like there's a bigger play coming. So it feels like, and I think you being a business owner in this neighborhood and things like that, and I feel like they always had this neighborhood, but you being a young Black business owner and the things that you go through, the successes that you have, and whatever you had to go through to get here, better than anybody. It feels like there's an even bigger play coming from their side, So this shit is just a scrimmage. But at the same time, everything that we was doing, being busy, caught up in the mix outside, was like a scrimmage, not knowing what the game really was. You know what I mean? So that's what it comes down to. That's why I named it that.
So you said it all, city culture, like extra duck sauce, scramble under the trunk floor, camera tucked in the front door.
Cameras rolling, but unsure. I'm just painting the whole scene, the city culture, the culture of the city that I know. You know what I mean? The guys in the whip, city culture like extra duck sauce. Who don't go to the Chinese store and ask for extra duck sauce? Everybody. You know the crazy shit? In Atlanta, well, I live in the burbs in Atlanta. Yo, you go to the Chinese store, they got a fucking bucket of duck sauce. And you can take what you want. The first time, I was like, y'all got what? I took dumb duck sauce. I was like, fuck out of here. Like, you know what I'm saying? Right. Now I got class of Atlanta Chinese restaurants. I take 2 or 3. I was dumb in the first time. I was like, y'all sure? All right, like half baked. when someone upstairs to get the brick, we got the weed, and he was like, yeah, you want some? And you know, the fucking pharmacist gave him a little bit, and he kept grabbing a little bit more when someone was that was like the duck. So I was like, y'all sure? All right, word, yeah, my order ready. All right, no doubt. Like, you know what I mean? Like, but anyway, you know, city culture like extra duck sauce, hammer tucked, scramble under the trunk floor. The scramble is the work. It's all coded, man. Like scramble under the trunk floor, meaning the work. Hammer tucked in the front door. Cameras rolling but unsure, like the cameras outside on the buildings. Cameras rolling but unsure. Antidote that they come for. Be the same to who throw it, so you could break from your home, but you can't unsee what you done saw. Like you could leave home, but you can't unsee what you already saw. You know what I mean? So wherever I move, I live in Atlanta now, but it don't matter. Like everything about me is Brooklyn, New York, because that's what I know. Everything about me is New York City. Everything South Side, like that's what I know. You know what I'm saying? So, you know.
Well, the illest line is everyone around us was on beat, no matter whatever the song be. The trumpet was always in arm's reach.
Hang on the side like car keys.
So I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
What's the trumpet? What's the trumpet about?
Oh, the hammer. You know what I'm saying? Like the hammer. So everyone around us was on beat, no matter whatever the song be. Like everyone in your crew, we all in the same time. We on beat. If I'm on this, you on this, you on this. All right, cool. Everyone else was on beat, no matter whatever the song be. Trumpet was always in arm's reach. It hang on the side like car keys. Follow wherever the horn lead. So now playing with the whole thing with the horn, as far as the trumpet, you know, whatever, you know what I mean, whatever. Hang on the side like car keys, always on the side. Follow wherever the horn lead. Serenade and let the song breathe. Heard it all like it was all me, but kind of blue was my horn piece. So now I'm saying like all that shit is what I know about. But I was on some Miles Davis kind of blue shit in the mix and in the midst of all that. You know what I'm saying? So again, I'm just painting this ill world with this juxtaposition, you know, and that's what that was. Yeah, I like that line a lot too. That
it's like a gamble.
Trumpet was always in arm's reach and hang on the side like car keys. When I wrote that, I was like, yeah, this is going the right way. This is going where I want it to go.
At which point in your career did you like, I'm just gonna keep on doing this?
What do you mean?
Like I'm just gonna keep on doing these doubles, all these layers, because it's like
until I stop rapping. Yeah, because that's my style. So now, if you a Skyzoo fan, you've been down forever. You know, you've been rocking with my man in the back. We went to college together. You know what I'm saying? He come to every show. He come to every event. We went to Farmingdale together. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, in Long Island. So he know, you know what I'm saying? Like, this been my style forever. So if you're a Skyzoo fan, you've been rocking forever. You know what you came for. So I always give the analogy. People ask for advice, for, you know, for rappers and people doing. I always give this analogy, man. You got a pizza shop. It's the dopest pizza shop in the neighborhood. You go there every other week. You know, when I go here, motherfuckers got it. They got a Sicilian slice. They got a chicken slice, whatever it is. Motherfuckers got it. One day you go in the pizza shop. Everything is the same title, the same name. Everything is laid out the same. These motherfuckers bring out burrito supremes and shit. Yeah, what the fuck? I ain't come here for this. If I wanted this, I could have went to the Mexican spot 2 blocks down. Or you go to the pizza shop and they bringing out Chinese food. I could have went next door for that. I didn't come for this today. It's the same thing with the music. Like, when you come to Skyzoo, you know what you're getting. You know what you came for. If I come to you with some other shit, you're going to be like, I didn't come for that. I could have listened to so-and-so for that. I wasn't in the mood to listen to so-and-so today. I was in the mood to listen to Skyzoo today. Damn, you let me down, bro. Now you don't know if you can go back to that pizza shop. Because motherfuckers might bring out more tacos and burritos, and motherfuckers might bring out soul food. Or you didn't go there for that. All that stuff is good. Everybody like Mexican. Everybody like, you know what I mean? But you didn't go there for that day. You know what I mean? If I go to fucking Luigi's around the way, if I go to Luigi's on DeKalb, I want that. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want the chicken spot. I didn't want Kennedy Fried right then.
Famous Luigi's.
Yeah, I didn't want Kennedy Fried right then. So you gotta, you know, that's what it comes down to. So I say all that to say, if I stop the way that I do what I do, motherfuckers gonna be like, damn, I was looking for that. I gotta go back and listen to Retropolitan. I gotta go back and listen to Easy Truth. All the brilliant things. I gotta go back. Because the new shit, he ain't do what I wanted him to do. Now I just got memories of what he used to be able to do. So I'm always gonna do it this way. I'm always gonna do it this way, without a doubt. You know what I mean?
So in the hook, sometimes your hooks aren't touched too often. You see, you're looking for the difference between love and forgiveness, between hate and indifference.
Mm-hmm. That's a hook. So my man Stolen Drums, who did the beat, he did that beat and he did the Plugs and Connections beat. We wrote the hook together because he had wrote that and he had spit it. What happened was he had posted the beat on like Facebook or something. He does these little beat videos where he posts the beat and everything. It's really dope. And he was spitting that to it. And when I heard it with that, I was like, yo, this shit is nuts. And I texted him like, yo, bro, what's up with that joint? He was like, yo, if you want it, you can have it. You know, I'll pull it off Facebook, whatever. I said, yeah, I want that for the album. I said, but I want to keep what you did on it, but I wanted to play like the hook. And he was like, oh shit, word, you want to put me as an artist on the album? Like I was just fucking around when I did that. And I was like, no, I want to keep that. I'm gonna tweak it and you know change some of the words up, but I want you to spit it. You know what I'm saying? And kind of like, you know, who was that? Emilio Sparks. Guess who's Bizak back on the block? Right. That same shit, you know, or Ye doing hooks on Jay shit. It kind of was the same thing, you know what I mean? So I was like, yo, I want you to spit it. You wrote that part. I'm gonna tweak it and rewrite it, and you know, we keep some of the lines, new lines, whatever, and I want you to spit it, and you'll be featured on it. So that was how that came about.
Well, it seems like you're talking about when you say across the street, it means this is more than it means. So we treat it like we're crossing past in the store. So part of me, are you like running, pumping into gentrifier?
Absolutely. What I'm saying is, so you move into the neighborhood, and they told you, like I said, like Fort Greene, like the P's over there. You move into the neighborhood, and you're like, well, this is gonna change soon. Okay, you know, let's move in now. It's okay. I know it's a little greasy, but you know, yeah, we'll move in here. Everything will be all right. And it don't change as quick as you thought. And the activities are still happening outside. You know what I mean? The activities are still happening in front of Chinese spot or the chicken spot or whatever. And you're like, oh shit, I thought it was gonna change. You know, they told you all that shit across the street was gonna change, and it didn't change yet because people are fed up. People are tired of living the way that you're trying to make them live. They used to live in a certain way, you know, and all these different types of things. And the change isn't happening as quick as you wanted it to as the new people in the neighborhood. Yo, you got to deal with it. You know what I mean? You got to deal with it. But if you respect the motherfuckers that's been here forever, if you respect us and you ride with us, you'll be okay. You know what I mean? This will change. But, you know, hold your horses. This will change, but you know what I mean? So that's what that's about, you know? So treat it like we crossing paths in the store, and pardon me. You know, you go in the store, get a, you know, chopped cheese and whatever. And motherfuckers is ordering like the fish platter and shit. It's always like, never order the fish platter at the bodega. Be like, never. You know what I mean? Never. Or at the chicken spot, like never. You know what I mean? Like, get what you're supposed to get. Like, don't get that. Like I've seen them. Oh, I'll take the grilled fish with. Don't get that. Don't get that at Kennedy. Get a, you know, 4-piece with a dinner roll and some fries and the grapes. Don't get that. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, nah. You know.
So culture-ish, sonically, the album develops into something a little bit different. You know, more emotional sonically.
Yeah.
One of my favorite songs.
Me too.
And you set it off, Supreme Soul for 2 Billy. Looked at my class like they just put that with me.
Yep. Yeah. It was right when they announced that Supreme sold for $2 billion. You know, they sold for $2 billion. And I was like, what? Like, and I got a bunch of Supreme, probably got on a Supreme t-shirt under this or something, you know what I mean? But I was like, what? And I thought about that and I was like, damn, that's wild. That's crazy. That's dope. Then I thought about it deeper, and this isn't a shot at them because like I said, I own a lot of Supreme, but I was like, wait a minute. What? Like Supreme sold for $2 billion, making a bunch of shit with our face on it. And nobody up there looked like us. And it's, yo, let's get Nas for a photo shoot. Let's get Mike Tyson for a photo shoot. Let's get Michael Jordan for a photo shoot. I don't know if Nas will probably do it. Mike Tyson, but you know, I don't know if a black clothing line would have as much success and as easy of a time getting those types of people. I don't want to say those people individually because it's not fair to them, but getting black celebs of that stature to do that. I really don't. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if, you know, some of these black clothing lines that's on the come up or doing it, you know, whatever, could have made that call and got MJ to do it or got so-and-so. I don't know. Then they do one with like Elmo or something, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if you know, one of these, you know, African-American lines that's out here killing could pull that off. I don't know if Sesame Street returns that call. You know what I'm saying? But Supreme gets the call back. So it's cool, but you got to break it down and really think about it. And that's why I said what I said. Supreme sold for $2 billion. Looked in my closet like they should split that with me. For every collab tee sold for $250, obviously resale. and every face adorned on it resembling me. Like, hold up. Like, all these faces, guys that look like me, y'all sold that company for $2 billion, but nobody up there looked like the guys on the front of the shirt. But y'all get to sit at the head of the class. You know what I mean? And that's where that came from. Not a shot at them, because they're dope, but you think about some of the stuff that they do, and it's like, damn, I don't know if a black clothing line could pull that off. You know what I mean? Like flipping the race car jackets from the early 2000s and the belly shit, and which was dope. But like, I don't know if a black clothing line gets that call. I mean, the Louis shit, like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Supreme popped off of being, there was a skateboard brand, but they popped off of being, the urban side and us rocking with it. And now, they're the collab kings, which is amazing. But it's like, I don't know if that easy of a time happens if the owners look like us, but the culture they're representing is the same shit. You know what I mean? It's so much gray area, and I just wanted it ain't about throwing a shot at them, because it's not a shot. Like I said, I ain't go throw my Supreme shit away. Like, I still have all that shit, but it was just like, damn, really think about it and do the knowledge behind it. It's like, wow. So that's why I said that. All the resemblance, man, sending that frame shit. You either give us a lane or deal with the aim. Like, either give us a lane to play in or deal with us when we aiming at you. Like, that's what that meant. Either give us a lane to deal with the aim. So that's the energy. Automatic, but based, I like this line. Automatic, but based on a semi, Akeem or high beam, whichever, you know what I mean? So like Akeem as in Prince Akeem and Semi, Eddie Murphy and Arsenio, Akeem or high beam, whichever's Liddy. So you got the semi with Akeem, you got the semi like a semi-automatic, you know what I mean? Like Akeem or high beam, like a beam, the beam on the gun. Akeem or high beam, whichever's Liddy. Like, either you up under a crown or you taking one. You give me a gray bottom, I bet I make me one. I mean, you just give me this, I'll turn this into a crown. That's what I'm saying. Give me a gray bottom, I bet I make me one. Suit it for it with the time to do it. Recollect on the beauty of it like Ananda Lewis. That's just showing her some love, because beautiful black queen. Everybody loved Ananda Lewis back in the day. And it fit real nice in the rhyme scheme and shit like that. The same beauty in the allure of everything we was listening for. Back when you was first sent to the store, like as a kid, when the OG sent you to, yo, go to the store, give me a bag of chips, shorty. You know what I mean? Like the same beauty in the allure. Back when you was first sent to the store, a growth spurt and an itch in your palm. When your palm itching, I mean money coming. A growth spurt. Now you're not the little kid going to the store no more. Now you the same height as Duke. So now you outside. Now it's a decision to make. Are you gonna get in or not? You've been going to the store, get chips and quarter water for them for a long time. Now, you know what I'm saying? It's a different thing. Back when you was first sent to the store, a growth spurt and an itch in your palm could take you in from the calm of your home and this peaceful life with your mom, whether you and your mom and dad, whether you lived in a small place or whatever, take you in from the calm and lead you to where you should fit in that storm. Now you in this storm, this mix of like this world, like you in the game now, you know what I mean? Lead you in for the calm, lead you in that storm. The crowd waiting be a big enough draw. Like, all right, damn, it's calm at home. Outside is crazy. But look at this crowd waiting. Look at these motherfuckers waiting to cheer me on if I really get into shit. Meaning, look at all the admirers and the applause and the adulation and everything I can get. You know what I mean? The crowd waiting that's enough to draw you in. The crowd waiting be a big enough draw where if you pick up the call, the dial tone will turn into applause. Like when nobody was checking for you and there was a dial tone, now everybody there, like, yo, we're doing it. Yo, you know what I'm saying? The dial tone will turn into applause. And then it just keeps going,
And then the tone gets more revolutionary, right?
Mm-hmm.
You say black as fuck, so late ain't an option. Gil Scott Vision in the Kenya Barris closet.
Yep. I feel like that's me. You know what I mean? Like, I'm black as fuck. Like, I'm black. You know what I mean? And then the show, Black AF, Black as fuck. Black as fuck. So relating ain't an option. Like, you can't tell me that I can't relate to all the shit I'm talking about. And I don't think, because I come from that. Black as fuck. So relating ain't an option. And Gil Scott Vision, Gil Scott Heron, and the Kenya Barris closet. If you know anything about Kenya Barris, and he's all, the creator of Blackish and Grownish and all the other issues, except Culture-ish. I created that. But the creator of all the issues. But he's really dope. I like Kenya Barris. And he created Black as fuck. And his whole thing is like, he get dressed every day. Every day he got on like $5,000 worth of shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, because his thing is, yo, look at where we came from. I'm getting dressed. You know what I mean? That was just a little bit of a flex, but also me saying I'm this, but I'm also that. You know what I mean? We sitting here talking about all this shit, and I got to, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. So I'm this, but I'm also that. Black as fuck, so relating ain't an option. a Gil Scott Vision and a Kenya Barris closet. You know, a back call away from who you play the most. I'm talking about the ghostwriting shit. Like I'm a back call away from all the motherfuckers that you playing. Yo, this motherfucker, this shit is lit. I'm behind a lot of that, so I'm like, I'm a back call away from who you play the most, and I'm a trap song away from a fader post. You know what I mean? Like all it takes for me is do one of these little whatever trap records, and all of a sudden fader will be all over me. Like that's what I'm saying with that. Quicker than the sneakers app crash. You know, sneakers app should crash right away because everybody's trying to be on the culture. You know, quick right there, that one line. I'm still driving home the idea of the culture and everything being taken from us. Quicker than the sneakers app crash. Round of applause when they need you that bad. Like when they need you that bad, that's when they go, what up, son? Oh, yeah. They start celebrating you when they need you. You know what I mean? Like they start really getting behind you and all that. And then even the beginning of that verse, you know, I was buying art. My friends was buying dope. I went and made friends with rappers that was buying both. You know what I mean? Similar regards when the vision's in the fold. So, you know, I'm obviously talking about my Griselda brothers. You know, those are my guys. And
obvious. I didn't get that.
because Wes, his slogan is always buy art, not dope. I did both. You know what I mean? That's kind of like his slogan. He always says like, you know, I bought art, I bought dope. You know what I mean? I did both. So that was a nod to them. You know, I was buying art, my friends was buying dope. I went and made friends with rappers that was buying both. Like the guys I grew up with was doing this. I was in the house with all this black art that I talked about earlier. I went and made friends with rappers who was kind of in the middle. And I'm just talking about Griselda, just showing them some love. You know what I mean? But it just shows the ill blend of all that and me finding somewhat like-minded individuals in the sense of the art, you know, especially with Wes with the art. When I say like-minded, just meaning like on a same type of time. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, our music is similar but different at the same time. But again, that was just me showing them love and you know, just shouting them out and saluting them or whatever. When they made friends with rappers that was buying both. Similar regards when the vision's in the fold, hanging from the walls or dripping from your nose, like the art on the wall, but the dope, you know, you get the dope drip, you know what I mean, hanging from the walls or dripping from your nose. OGs telling me to get what I was owed, like the OGs, like, yo, make sure if you get in this shit, go get yours, you know what I'm saying? Made sense of all of it. Like that whole world I just described and how complex that world is, I just made sense of it. I made sense of all of it. Just as I'm supposed. Said to treat it like you water whipping, mixing out a bowl. Treat it like you in the kitchen getting busy is what I'm saying there. Like treat it like if you're in the kitchen getting busy, you know what's at stake. You know the severity of it, but you also know where this thing could go. So treat it like you water whipping, mixing out a bowl. All of your desires being driven by the foam, FOAM, like the foam from, you know, when the shit bubble and cook up. All your desires being driven by the foam. Cooking with integrity, mirrors by the stove. Forever is forever, but we still trying to elope. So it's like you doing this shit knowing this is who you are and this is who you're going to be forever. So you cooking with integrity, mirrors by the stove. It's like if you had a mirror at the stove while you was cooking, looking yourself in the eyes like, damn, this is what I'm really doing. This is the choice that I made. This is where I'm at. Cooking with integrity, mirrors by the stove. Forever is forever, but we still trying to elope. Like, yo, once you in the game, you in it forever. Once that's your life forever, whether you leave it alone or not, because it's a part of you and all of that shit follows you. But we still trying to elope. Like, fuck it. Still trying to go. Live out the jungle where the Simbas pick and roll. You ever met a lion that could pin you out a poem? So now I'm talking about myself, like Simba and the lion in the jungle, like being from the jungle, being from the inner city, and having to live and be like a lion for somebody who could pin you a poem. I'm talking about myself. You ever met a lion that could pin you out a poem? Pass it down till the baton's gone. Like just keep passing. Make sure the next generation is good. God bless the family of Kawan Charles. If you never heard of Kawan Charles, look that up. That story is insane. It's a really, really heartbreaking story about this little black boy, 14 years old, who, I mean, his pictures look like Emmett Till pictures. Like, it's crazy. I ain't going to tell you what happened. You can look it up. His name is Kawan Charles. It happened, I think, 2019. But it's really, really, really brutal situation. They still haven't solved that murder. It's awful. It's some race shit. But God bless the family of Kawan Charles. God bless me. I said, God bless the family of Kawan Charles. God bless me if I'm tripping off award tours. God bless me if I'm tripping off award tours, knowing Muhammad is my man. So what the cost costs. Yeah, I like how I did that a lot. Yeah. God bless me if I'm tripping off award tours. Like if I'm tripping about not winning an award, God, forgive me for that. Forgive me for worrying about the awards I'm not winning as opposed to being thankful and appreciative of everything that you've given me. You know, God bless me if I'm tripping off award tours, knowing Muhammad is my man. So what the cost? Like, you know, we on a award tour with Muhammad, my man. You know what I mean? If Muhammad is my man, if up there, if I got, you know, if I'm up here with it and we in sync and I give all praises up, then what am I worried about these awards for? As opposed to just appreciating what I've been doing and what I've been given. So, you know, knowing Muhammad is my man. So what the cost? Like, whatever it costs you who worries about those awards and shucking and jiving and doing what you got to do to get that, what did that cost? Like, it cost you that much, but how much did that really cost? Like, how much did it really cost you to sell your soul? That's all I'm saying in that line. Talking about really selling your soul, you know. God bless me if I'm tripping off award tours. Knowing Muhammad is my man. So what the cost? The same era that skip you until you ghost. You know what I mean? The same era, like it's whatever until you die. You know what I mean? Like, I go for Dilla, that go for Doom, that go for, you know what I mean? Like, it's whatever until you die. Then your streaming go up. Jada said it, you know, dead rappers get better promotion. You know what I mean? So, like, you know, the same era that skip you until you ghost, then fold hands for you and christen you in a post. You know, you die tomorrow, and, you know, all these sites that you couldn't get on and all these, you know, all these networks and blogs and these media outlets, oh, they'll be on it. So-and-so died today, blah, 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 and a million prayer hand emojis, and they'll be on it when you die because they got to cover that. Because now it's a thing, and now everybody's coming out talking about how much of a fan they were. And some of the biggest artists in the world is like, man, I used to listen to him every day. His beats drove me, I lived my life off his instrumental tapes or his rhymes and blah, blah, blah. So, you know what I mean? The same era that skips you until you ghost, then fold hands for you and christen you in a post at the same table, but listen to who they toast. Like, these guys who represent the culture and cover the culture and all that, listen to who they toast behind closed doors. Listen to who they salute and who they praise. They really be on the other side of the fence. They be Trumpers. They be, you know what I mean? They be on that other side. Like, you know, when you close the door and something happens, that N-word will fly real quick and it won't be an A at the end. You know what I mean?
Speaking of which, you took your pistol with you.
I absolutely did. Because I didn't know the temperature. And living in Atlanta, and Atlanta's a black city, right? Like, Georgia as a state, obviously, you know, it's different, but I mean, it just got flipped, which is amazing. But Atlanta's a black city, black mayor, you know, the town I live in, sheriff black, everybody, you know, sheriff, mayor, everybody black, whatever. But it's still Atlanta, it's still the South. And even in New York, I feel like I would have did that in New York, you know, because I didn't know what the temperature was going to be with all this Trump shit. You know, you had motherfuckers breaking in, you know, the state building and all that in D.C. going up. I didn't know what the temperature was going to be. You know what I mean? So I took mine with me. I was like, I don't know who's going to be standing next to me or behind me on the line to vote. And I don't know what type of time they're going to be on. So I know what type of time I'm going to be on. You know what I mean? So, you know, speaking of, I took my pistol with me to vote, 2020 vibes. I'm at the march trying to touch the sky. You know what I mean? But notice that it take a kill for us to come alive. It takes somebody dying for us to wake up and be like, yo, I need to get out there and march and protest. You know what I mean? Right. I'm at the march trying to touch the sky, but no, it take a kill for us to come alive. I got friends with mothers like Breonna Barksdale, but we ain't crowned Breonna Taylor till her heart failed. I just wanted to really show her some love and some light. You know what I mean? Soft eyes that help you see it better. Because when you all eyes, it's harder to piece together. You see it? You know, like they say, when you look at something with soft eyes, you get it better. If you're staring at this thing right here, all you seeing is that. With soft eyes, I see this whole shit. You know what I mean? So, and that's some wired shit, but that's real life shit. If you staring at shit, you know, you all eyes on that. You know what I mean? I can't piece all this together, but if I use soft eyes on that, you know, it'll all come together right.
But wouldn't it be you if it wasn't some wire?
Absolutely, absolutely, gotta be.
So one thing about your gentrification, you know, being from a neighborhood of gentrified, I know that fire usually precedes, like it'd be like a month straight when everything around is burning down.
Yeah. For
legitimate or illegitimate reasons, right? Mm-hmm. So Bed-Stuy burning resonated with me because that's the first thing to look out for. Fires, like everything burned down,
right? And
then what comes back is these new businesses and everything, absolutely. Right? So you have this go right to the bridge real quick. You have this plea, you know, don't let this happen to you. Philly and Atlanta and DMV. Mm-hmm. It's like a very, you know, emotional, you know, thing right there. Why is it that your first single? Why did you put it out first? Was it the first single? Yeah, it's first single. I felt like it screamed what the album was going to be about, sonically, lyrically, the message. When you heard it, you was like, "Oh, this what he on." Okay, bet.
I'm ready for that. And the beat knocks and it's jumping. Shout out to my man Rashid Hadi on the beat. The wonderful Hypnotic Brass Ensemble playing on the hook, you know, with the jazz and everything, with the trumpets and everything like that. It's when you're picking a single as an artist, what represents the album the way you want, what reflects the album the way you want, it's the first thing people are going to hear. People can make their decision right then. I don't want to hear that album. But yo, I can't wait for that album. First single is everything. You could drop the ball on what you drop as the second and third singles, especially if the album is out, because people could be like, oh, track 8 wasn't really my favorite record, but I still love the album. Because they already bought the album, they love it, and they heard it, and they're in love with it. The first single make or break. People lose their jobs over first singles. You know what I mean? If you know industry, you know, labels and one-on-one shit, people lose their fucking job off the first single. Yo, you picked that fucking single as the A&R, you're fucking fired. Like, you know what I mean? Or that shit could blow your career. The first single was everything, man. People sit for weeks mulling over their album, picking the first single. So, you know, when I made it, I knew right away. I was like, oh, this is the single. You know, I knew off the beat. I knew off the title. I was like, this is the single. People are going to see Bed-Stuys Burning and be like, oh, God, yeah, I'm ready. Well, what's he talking about on this one? I'm ready. And the title came from this book of the same name, Bed-Stuys Burning, by Brian Platzer, who dope author. He's like around our age. I actually got cool with him after the record came out. I put the record out, and somebody tagged him on the post. They just tagged him. And then I didn't know he had a brand. I didn't know nothing about him. And, you know, because I had the book, and I didn't know nothing about him personally, though. I didn't even know if he was on the gram. And they tagged him, and then he jumped in. He was like, oh, my God, I just heard the record. It's amazing. And he said something along the lines of, like, this song is way better than anything I did with that book. And I was like, oh, shit. Like, that blew me away. You know what I mean? Like, he's the writer, the dude who wrote the novel. It's a fictional story, but it's about this white couple that moves to Bed-Stuy and all the things and changes that happen with them being on that side of the fence. So I wrote the song on the other side of the fence as like, okay, the black dudes and girls and everybody in the neighborhood, young and old and whatever, living in the style, living in the neighborhood, and then watching these people come in and what it's like for us. So it was just like a call and response. Right. And then he reached out and, you know, we switched numbers and we got on the phone and talked for a while. And, you know, he's a really, really awesome dude. Lives in the style. Really, he's from New York, but lives in the style. And really, really awesome dude. And he just loved the song, loved the album, and was like, whatever you need from me, man, I'm down. Like, you gave the book new life, you know, and the book was like a New York Times bestseller. And he's like, you gave the book new life. Because I think the book came out in like 2017. I found out about the book from Angela Yee because she posted it on her page. And I was like, the fuck is that? Bed-Stuys Burning. Okay. And I grabbed it. And, you know, I copped the book or whatever. And then I read it. And I was like, oh, this is sick. I gotta throw the other side of the fence on this. And that's how that happened. You know what I mean?
Who told us tag a dotted line if you care to survive? What does that mean?
It told us tag a dotted line if you care to survive, and if not, pick a spot and just be here for the ride. Meaning, like, yo, if you want to make it out of this, just sell your home. Tag a dotted line, like just sign on the dotted line, just sell your home. And if not, pick a spot out here in this neighborhood. And hey, all the best. Meaning, like, yo, this neighborhood's gonna change. These yoga studios is coming. These wine bars is coming. These cafes is coming.
Thai restaurants.
It's all coming. Thai food is great though, but it's all coming. You know what I'm saying? So either sell your crib or pick wherever you're gonna be and just sit in the corner. And hey, good luck. This shit gonna change because there's a lot of people holding out. You know what I mean? And they're looking at it like, yo, all right, either tag a dotted line if you care to survive, and if not, pick a spot and just be here for the ride because this shit's gonna change. The aura of Quarter Waters over Mary J. Blige, my neighborhood give you life, but was you here when it died? Like, you know, I grew up where, you know, little girls on the corner drinking Quarter Waters and blasting Mary J, singing Mary J on the stoop while we outside slap boxing or playing ball or trading basketball cards. That's a whole aura. That's the shit that drove y'all here. You saw it and do the right thing. You saw it in this and this and this. That's a whole aura. You was like, yes, that's culture. I want that. And you moved to Brooklyn. You moved to Queens or the Bronx or whatever it is. You wanted that. But now when you're here, you're getting rid of it, you know? Right. And it's like, you know, my neighborhood give you life. Like, oh my gosh, just living in Brooklyn just gives me life. You see these people just gives me life. I got on my Jordan 3s and I got on my t-shirt and I'm going to the block party and I'm going to Afro Punk and this shit just gives me life. Oh my gosh. But was you here when this place died? Like, was you here when nobody wanted to be here? You know, I tell a story all the time. I forgot what record I said it on, but talked about how, like, when I was in junior high, and I remember kicking it with girls, and it was like, oh, you live over there? Oh, yeah, my mother said I can't go over there. You know what I mean? Like that happened. Yeah, my mother said I can't go over there, but you could come to Park Slope though. You could come. You know what I mean? Like, why you can't come to my hood? My mother said I can't go over there. Now they live in the hood. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm like, damn, B, like, you know what I mean? I mean, when your mother said y'all couldn't, now y'all at the coffee shop. You know what I mean? I ain't seen you since the reunion. So that's what I'm saying. Like, was you here when my neighborhood died? Because we had to live through that. You know what I mean? We had to go through that.
So you speak about culture, call back from culturists. You spoke on artists and fashion designers and labels, and the next song, second to last song,
What Money Taught Us. Yeah.
Amazing beat.
Thank you.
I think maybe one of your best songs. I think top
Thank
10
you.
Skyzoo songs.
I did that beat. Me and J57.
See, look at that.
Yeah. Me and J57. Yep. Shout out to my bro J57.
Look at that.
Yeah.
So I wasn't even faking it. We should do that more often, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. Yeah, I'm learning.
Okay. Can we switch the battery for the last two songs? Yeah. Okay.
That's fine. We could pause for a quick second.
Yes.
And
please.
it won't take too long. We're gonna wrap this up.
Like
I know we've been here for a while.
Yeah, cup. Throw me a cup. I got the wine. I just need a cup. Please. Throw me ice. A lozenge. Just throw me the cup.
Man, we almost done.
We almost done.
Like you were saying before, taking a day off of work the next day. I
Right.
definitely took the day off of work.
Oh, word. Okay. All right. Word up. Now we almost done though. I didn't realize Heads was here this long. It's everybody on the stream. I ain't realize.
My guy Tab, Yankees hat. He's from Waverly. Right?
Yeah. No, we connected at the shop a while ago, and he reminded me of it. So yeah.
Nice. Okay. Nice.
No, it's love, man. We almost done. I promise. I know it's been here a while. People trickling out because they got to
All right.
work. And
We
shit.
back up.
All right, cool. So
Ignore the
What Money Taught Us.
All right. So What Money Taught Us, you were critical about Virgil. Brother who.
Rest in peace to Virgil.
Right.
Rest in peace to Virgil. Yeah, I would love to talk about that because I don't want people to take that the wrong way, especially somebody who's not here no more. Obviously, I wrote and recorded and released the song, in June. So obviously he was still here. First off, Virgil did unimaginable, unthinkable, wonderful things in fashion and culture. I mean, to crack Louis Vuitton, forget it. Like, no one's ever done that. Who knows if anyone will ever do it again? As far as black folk, you know what I mean? Nobody black, nobody of color had ever done anything like that. If that was the only thing he ever did, he goes in the Hall of Fame off that alone. You know what I mean? Like, without a doubt. But then you add the Jordan shit, the Nike shit, like unprecedented, stage shows and stuff. But I remember when the whole $50 thing happened, and everybody was on him. Like, yo, man, you gave $50, man. How you doing? You know what I mean? Like, and it's just another sign of like us in our culture with the cancel culture shit. So that's what I was talking about. So I wasn't, I don't know if I'm gonna say critical. I wasn't really being critical of him. I was calling out cancel culture per se, because I remember when, he gave the $50 to Black Lives Matter. I think it was Black Lives Matter or whatever it might have been. And everybody was on him. Yo, gave $50. How you gonna give $50? You worth like 50 mil and all this other stuff and blah, 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 blah. Nobody's perfect. Nobody doesn't handle everything the way they would think to handle it in hindsight, So And I think it was a thing where he was like, you know, it was a challenge. My friend give 50, I give 50. I challenge you to give 50. You challenge him. I think that's what it was, if my memory serves me right. So I wasn't coming at him. I just pointed it out. Like it was more in the rhyme scheme. Advice from Candace Owens and $50 from Virgil, where like you think you're doing one thing and you have good intentions, but it kind of goes awry, you know. And that's kind of what I was saying. Then I took the Virgil part and just used it as a play on words. The lights be off-white, so you thinking, how could they burn you? Virgil off-white. If a light is off-white, it's not as bright as a bright white light, so you think it's not as hot because it's a little duller. The lights be off-white, so you thinking, how could they burn you? Same as the hole in your pocket left to confirm you. Like they say, yo, that money burning a hole in your pocket, man. You spending it so fast, it's like it's burnt. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. And the Virgil shit costs a lot. Everybody know that. So I wasn't being critical of Virgil at all. I hope it doesn't come off that way to people, especially with him no longer being here. Just emphasizing again, I mean, the things that the brother did, the Louis Vuitton shit alone, unprecedented. The Jordan shit, Nike shit, the stages that he built for Watch the Throne and Pyrex. I mean, I had a bunch of Pyrex shit before Off-White existed. Pyrex was great. I wish he didn't dead that. I wish he kept Pyrex while he was doing Off-White, because Pyrex was crazy. You know, he just did so much, you know, but then you had the cancel culture come out. You know, I saw it. I was like, yo, they about to try to off some with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it was just like, yo, the 50 Bud was making memes out of him and, you know, whatever. And, you know, again, it's like none of us are perfect. You know what I mean? So, you know, and then I look at somebody like Candace Owens, man, and like, yo, she's so smart, but so stupid. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you read some of the shit she says, like, damn, she's so intelligent, but she's such an airhead on the side of the fence that she's on. Like, that's the type of her intelligence. We could totally use that on this side of the fence. She is brilliant, but she's so fucking stupid too. And it's so wild that you could be both. I'm like, yo, how could you be so intelligent, but be on that bullshit? You know what I'm saying? Like, are you nuts? Like, what the fuck, man? Like, you know what I mean? Like, she's so brilliant, man. Like, some of the things that she says, clearly she's educated. Some of the things that she says is like, wow, that perspective and that point. But she's using, it's like she's water from three, but she's shooting on the other basket. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, she's Steph Curry, but she's shooting on the wrong basket. Like, nah, shorty, go that way. Like, what the fuck, man? Like, you know, that's her. So that's what advice from Candace Owens, like advice from Candace Owens at $50 from Virgil, the life be off white. So you thinking, how could they burn you? Saying that song is fucking loaded, man. I ain't gonna lie. Like, every line is a double or a triple. Like, that song is fucking, like, we could literally sit here all day on that one record. That song is fucking loaded, man. Like, I said that about a song earlier, but that song, Jesus Christ, man. I don't even perform it because it's so loaded. It's like, nah, y'all really gotta just sit with it. Like, that song is fucking loaded. Like you said, it's up there, like top 25 Skyzoo songs as far as how loaded it is, man. It is. If I sat here and broke that thing down bar for bar, and I think it's like, you know, 80-something bars, it's just a run. We'll be here all night, and it'll be like, wow. Like, you know what I mean? Not even to pat myself on the back, but that shit is loaded.
So let's just do the
pick out the ones that you want to know.
You know, this is a simple one, but it's but I bet I got my bag.
Yeah.
Because you gotta hear the talk. Yo, this guy, he just needs better promotion. Because whenever you bring someone new to Skyzoo, who's like, oh, what happened? Or
right,
he needs a manager. Or
marketing, right.
You know?
Well, what I'm saying on that is, bet I got my bag. That I got my bag. Difference is, I ain't let them sell me how to act. So what I'm saying is, like, I'm talking about all this shit, what money taught us. But I'm saying, in spite of all this shit and and the trickery and the fuckery, I got mine. But the difference is, I got mine being me and doing what I do. You know, I didn't have to, you know, do any of this other shit. And that's why I said, I ain't let them sell me how to act. Instead of tell me how to act, I said, I ain't let them sell me how to act. You know what I mean? Like, I ain't let them sell me. Like, and that was on purpose of, like, you know, selling my soul or sell me a dream of, nah, if you just do this shit, you'll be like fucking Drake, bro. Like, I ain't let them sell me no pipe dream and no bullshit to sell out myself. You know what I mean? So that was the point of that. I ain't let them sell me how to act. You know,
power to the people, arms high as a steeple.
Yep, power to the people, arms high as a steeple, and the paintings on that stained glass made them not believe you, like a steeple, a church, and then the stained glass paintings with Jesus is white and us as black folk being in the city and coming up the way we came up. And if you came from a Panther household like I did, like my pops was super duper on that, then I look at the stained glass paintings and see white Jesus, and I'm like, I don't know what's up with it. That's not right. So that's what I'm saying. And the paintings on that stained glass made him not believe you. Overturn underneath you, like overstand and overturn underneath you, smooth as it gotta be. Berets in abundance, crowns on properly. I'm talking about the black beret, like the Black Panther. They wear the beret, blah blah. Crowns on properly, like that was like a crown. Like, you know, they got the beret on, but they really wearing a crown because of the king and queen work that they out here doing. My Alec Monopoly says 7 the God Hour. That's if you follow. So that's a watch. It's a that's a watch that I have. It's like a rare, expensive piece. Alex Monopoly says 7 the God Hour. That's it. And I'm flipping the Nas shit. 7 the God Hour. That's if you follow. Tradition started by the school of block from the Apollo. My fuck tomorrow model be the views from before. I'm not in the mood to do the 1-2s anymore. Like, I'm not in the mood to just rap to rap. That's what that meant. Like 1-2, 1-2. Yo, check it out. I'm the nicest motherfucker. Ain't nobody better. And but like, I'm not in the mood to do the 1-2s anymore. 1-2, 1-2. Are we on? So now that I'm not in the mood to do the 1-2s anymore, y'all still hear me? 1-2, 1-2. Like, hello, 1-2. Y'all hear me? Y'all hear me? I'm not in the mood to do the 1-2s anymore. 1-2, 1-2. Are we on? We've been on since forever, but y'all choose to ignore. So now forever is just as true as before. All the time is spent together, but y'all drew them apart. But I still got mine. But bet I got my bag. Like, bet I still got mine. Bet throughout all that bullshit, I'm still successful and I still won, you know? But there's so much at the beginning of the record and, you know, the Prop Joe Marlo shit. And, you know what I'm saying? Like, silly me for wanting you about more. Same silly me that was shoving you out the door, like trying to get you out of here. Adorned from everything that both you and I would adore. When the slam lock on the top of the lock is probable cause in the door. Got everything you'd imagine hiding beyond any measure you seen fit from what's left of the seamstress. Measure seen fit from this left of the seamstress. Blessed like leaving 6 on the floor, rolling trips. You playing CeeLo and you got trips. So you got trips, right? You got 6, 6, 6. Blessed like leaving 6 on the floor, rolling trips. So there's 3 of those. Like heaven don't seem close. So you rolling. You know, you're shooting dice, you got 6, 6, 6 like you won, but 6, 6, 6 is also the devil, the mark of the beast. So like, you know, like heaven don't seem close. You know what I'm saying? Like you got 3 6s when you shooting 3 6s, like if you like if the opposite of heaven, like heaven don't seem close, but you next to a re-up though. So heaven be close enough now. So you like, well, it don't matter if I get into there because I'm already there down here. But it's really a play on words with the whole rolling trips, you know what I mean? So heaven be close enough now. Enough to feel like he don't gotta come down. Enough to feel like, yo, I don't need God. I'm good. I'm God here. You know what I mean? Enough to feel like he don't gotta come down. Why intervene with propping open the door, like calling him down? Why intervene with propping open the door with a prop the interest of Hall and the proposition for y'all, like when and a proposition for y'all, like when propositions in awe. So what I'm saying, like Proposition Joe, how he would have a proposition for you when he would be in the jam. So like when proposition is in awe, like when he's in awe, like, oh shit, this shit bad. Y'all got a proposition for you. You know what I'm saying? So why intervene with propping open the door with a prop to interest of Hall and a proposition for y'all, like when propositions in awe. Word to an East Side dealer with unified intentions, talking about Prop Joe, because he was on the East Side. But ain't no civilizing who in the trenches. I'm talking about Marlo when he was just like, he was trying to civilize Marlo, and Marlo wasn't having it. You know what I'm saying? Like, word to an East Side dealer with unified intentions. The co-op, he was trying to unify motherfuckers, bring them together. Ain't no civilizing who in the trenches. So I'm using Marlo and them as an example, but I'm saying, yo, overall, ain't no civilizing who out here, man. When you in that and you experience it, ain't no civilizing. You can't unify motherfuckers. It ain't gonna work. All they know is one way. You know what I mean? Like, ain't no civilizing who in the trenches. Bottle what you intended. Bottles cover the entrance. Bottles dumping the stems in. There's bottles up where you sitting. So like bottle what you intended. All them intentions you had of these motherfuckers coming together, get rid of that. Bottle that shit up and get rid of it, right? Bottles cover the entrance. Little bottles, little vials. You know what I'm saying? Bottles dump into stems. You open a bottle and you dump a rock into a stem. Now there's bottles, you know. Now you in the club with bottles. Bottles dumping the stems and there's bottles up where you sitting. So I'm just showing you the whole trajectory of you outside getting it. Fiends is doing what they got to do. And from them doing what they got to do, now you in the club with bottle service. So I'm just painting that whole scene. And I'm doing it in a lyrical, you know, a really unique, clever way of, you know, bottle what you intended. Bottles cover the entrance. Bottles dumping the stems, and there's bottles up where you sitting. You know the vibes. Like, you know what time it, you know the vibes. So there's no surprise. There's no surprise except for everything, right? Like the irony of that. There's no surprise except for everything. Oh, it really is everything's a surprise. No surprise except for everything, right? You stick to that Morse code with whatever's left of you, right? And whatever's left of you might be the right to the package that's left, or the package that's left doesn't suffice, right? Right or wrong, and still be rightfully yours. Only hurry you right along. I decided long ago if I go and write for the cause, there wouldn't be no return to the turn that y'all would reward. Meaning, like, I decided a long time ago, yo, if I go this way, I probably won't be as rich as Drake. I probably won't be as rich as fucking Khaled and them. That's cool. It's okay. I decided long ago if I go and write for the cause, there wouldn't be no return to the turn that y'all would reward. Like, I wouldn't be able to go back to the shit that y'all reward all day. I'm at peace with that. I've accepted that because it's a greater purpose, right? Like, I've accepted that. I'm not broke, so I'm good. You know what I mean? Like, I've accepted this shit ain't making motherfuckers 200 million, you know what I'm saying, going this way. But I do it for the people and what's happening. And I get paid off it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not out here starving artists. You know, I'm not going to perpetrate that because that ain't it. But I'm at peace with that. You know what I mean? So, you know, and it really keeps going. That's like the first 8 bars, man. And there's like 70 more. It really keeps going, man. Like, it's a very, very, very complex layered song. Yeah.
And it's a great beat. So, you know,
I'll make more.
Yeah, please do. I mean, I like to hear you on stuff like that. So, you know, the final song,
Soft Eyes.
it kind of threatens in a way to be the final song, right? And the first line is "Last call for alcohol,"
Yeah,
right? Which means that
it's over.
Right.
Bar party's over.
Right. Can we go back to the second verse?
We can. Well, I definitely want to break down the first.
Okay.
There's a lot of Easter eggs. Last call for alcohol. Never liked when they hit the lights, but shit, you had a ball. Like, you never liked when the club motherfuckers turn the lights on. Like, damn, it's over. But you like, damn, we had a good ass time here the other night. When I was young, I'd be at the club till 5. Motherfuckers turn the lights on. You know what I mean? When I was 21,
all that.
you know, motherfuckers turn the lights on. Like, oh shit, all right, cool. It's 5 o'clock. Last call for alcohol. Never liked when they hit the lights, but shit, you had a ball. More than you assumed would ensue. But what you knew is if you was late to the room, it still came to you after all. Meaning, like, this shit was way more than you thought was coming. When you first became a Skyzoo fan 10, 15 years ago, whatever, you didn't know it was going to get this deep and this complex and this layered. But you like, shit was amazing. I got more than I thought. I got more than I came for. You know what I'm saying? Like, these motherfuckers really took care of me when I came into this club. And if you was late to the room, meaning if you didn't get to the party until 2010, 2015, 2018, it still came to you. Like, you still got all that. It still was like, damn, this shit was amazing. Like, you still was able to catch all that just like a motherfucker who was here since 05, 06. You know what I'm saying? What did you assume when Super? What you knew is if you was late to the room, it still came to you after all. Everything I did was with you in mind, and there was always a mirror attached when I threw a line. Like, everything I did when I was writing, like I said when we talked about the other song, doing it for the people. Everything I did was with you in mind as a listener. There was always a mirror attached when I threw a line. As long as you're doing fine, then my shit is dually line, like dual, like two. Depending on how you spell it, I took care of you and I, or this was all expected, because that word has a double meaning. Properly tied, like tied together. I was defined when they was geeking, son. I was beefing with property lines. Like, when they was over here just talking to talk, I was talking about this shit, gentrification, but by our people. I was, you know, when they was geeking, son, I was beefing with property lines. I gave you more. I love this part because it's a personal thing. I gave you more. Came here to paint the store. Added happy trees with bodies decorate the floor. So I'm talking about, like, you know, like the painter, what's my name, Bob Ross. You know what I'm saying? I gave you more. Came here to paint the store. Added happy trees with bodies decorate the floor. Like he would always say, let's add some happy trees. And I'm saying, I'm painting this scene. Ain't shit happy about it. You know, adding happy trees with bodies decorate the floor. Rest in peace to Kelly and the homies that came before. There was a dude on my block named Kelly. Like I said on Best Eyes Burning, when I said, as true as you and me, there's a mayor on every block. Like the mayor from Do the Right Thing. Kelly was the mayor of my block. I've talked about him on other records or whatever. Kelly was a dude, old man, like a grandfather. He was the mayor on my block. He got killed. He used to sweep up the neighborhood, homeless, lived outside. My mans used to serve him. You know, he was on his thing. He, whatever. He had his vices. Homeless dude used to do his thing. But my block was the prettiest block in the hood with all the activity going on. Kelly would shovel all the snow. Kelly would sweep all the leaves. If it was an old lady or a young lady coming in the house with groceries, Kelly would help bring the groceries in the house and give him $5 just because he was the mayor. He was just like the mayor and do the right thing. And Kelly got killed by the tree. You know, there was a specific tree on my block. Kelly got killed right in front of that tree. Like his body was found laying in front of that tree. He got killed by some young kids that wasn't from the neighborhood. It was some bullshit, but he got shot up and killed. This dude's like 70 years old. And it was some young little 20-something year old. It's a wild story. You can look it up. But added happy trees with bodies decorate the floor. Rest in peace to Kelly because he got killed by the tree. And the homies that came before, like all the homicides that came before that. Rest in peace to Kelly and the homies that came before. Shout to all the broads who bought a body to make it yours. So now that's a play on lyrical play. Kelly body, but then the body, all the broads who bought a body to make it yours. Like all the broads who got their body done, Instagram chicks, just to make it yours, just to give you themselves. You know what I'm saying? Bodies that came before. The long was who was loading up the shoddy to paint a wall, like, you know, all the guys outside getting it, to wind up putting somebody on the mural. And it just keeps going on and on and on and on. But I really wanted to point out that Kelly part because Kelly was my man. Like Kelly was cool, man. He was an old man, but Kelly helped me find my first apartment, man. He knocked on the door, yo, Sky, so-and-so across the street moving, right? Yo, you might want to run over there. Oh, yo, Kelly good looking out. Yo, take $5. Kelly was my man. So, yeah. But anyway, we go into the second verse. I just wanted to show Kelly some love. But yeah, we go into the second verse.
So cheap now for doing that, but we're gonna do that.
Nah, you good. You didn't know Kelly, so it's all right.
Not,
you know what I mean? You ain't know Kelly. It's all right.
So last year I was writing my retirement speech.
Called Fonte, kicked for hour 3.
Is that true? When you go out to retire?
Yep. And I called Tay. It's funny. I was talking to Tay on the way over here. Talking to Tay all the time. But yeah, that happened. I was like, yeah, I think I'm out. I just was kind of like, I did enough. I got enough shit out there. I got my son, my whiz. We at the crib. And I got a family to raise, you know what I'm saying? My son and all that. And I was like, I think I'm done. I just was kind of over the industry side, the business side. And I felt like if I left, I did enough. I made a shirt a couple years ago. And it said written by Skyzoo on the front. And on the back, it has like all my projects that I put out, starting with like 05 or 05, 06. And this was before Retropolitan, before like all that. It's like 24 projects on the back of that shirt. You know what I'm saying? 24 albums. A couple of them was mixtapes, but they're albums, EPs, collabo albums like Me and Tor or Me and Apollo or these shit like that. This is before the Bluest Note. This is before fucking Milestones. This is before all the bro. This is ridiculous. I was like, yo, I got a lot of music, and it's a blessing. I was like, yo, if I tap out right now, there's more than enough of a catalog. It's like, I saw a post yesterday or the day before about Giannis, and it was like, yo, happy 27th birthday to Giannis, and it had his resume, and it was like retarded. It was like, yo, 5 All-Stars. Finals MVP, do 2 Defensive Player of the Year, 2 MVPs, and it was like, yo, this motherfucker can retire right now and be in the Hall of Fame. So it's kind of the same thing, not to even be funny, but it's like, yo, there's enough work where you could be like, yo, there's mad Skyzoo music. Like, we could bump Sky shit and break Sky shit down forever. Like, there's like 23 projects. And that was before me dropping 3 more projects after that. You know what I mean? So I was thinking about all that, and I was just thinking about, the business side and the industry side, and I just wasn't feeling it. I'm always feeling the music. There's 2 things I always said to make me retire. Either I don't have it no more or I don't love it no more. I'm not going to do it if I don't love it just to get a bag. And I'm not going to do it if I don't have it no more. And my shit don't sound right. I can't do this, what we doing. And you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to do that. Like, I'm not going to force it. I'm not going to call somebody to write for me. I write for other motherfuckers. Only person I would let write for me is my son. I always said that would be like the coolest shit in the world. You know what I mean? Like, fucking 20 years from now, if my son raps and I'm like, Miles, I'm not jumping on a record with you. Get out of here. Like, I'm in the basement smoking a pipe. And if he's like, come on, Dad, I'll write the verse for you. I would do that. I'd be like, all right, write the verse. Let's go. You know what I'm saying? I just think that would be cool. You know what I mean? But I'm not having nobody write for me. So, like, if I don't have it no more, if this shit ain't flying, I'm not doing it no more. And if I don't love it, I'm not doing it no more. So I was getting to the point. I still had it, thank God. But I wasn't sure if my love was wavering. And it wasn't wavering, but I was debating if my love was wavering because of the industry. And I literally called Fonte and we talked for 3 hours, not only about that, but we just talked life shit and different shit. And it came up. And I was like, bro, man, I'm calling you, man, because I don't know. Something said call you. I might tap out. He's like, you might what? I might tap out. He's like, you ain't tapping out. And we talked for a while. And he literally was like, man, don't let these motherfuckers tell you when it's time for you to go, bro. Like, you go when you want to go. Because I was talking about the industry and behind the scenes shit and just different shit. And he was like, don't let these motherfuckers tell you when it's time to go. Like, you tell yourself when it's time to go. If you really want to go, by all means, I get it. And you still my man, and it's still crew love and all that. But let it be because you wanted to go, not because everything, the industry or the game or all this shit is making. He was like, nah, fuck that. You know what I mean? You make sure you go on your own accord. And I was like, you got a point. You know what I mean? So that conversation happened. It dead ass happened, you know?
So you're not going, you got one more album left in you.
I don't know. I got more in me. Yeah, I got some more in me. It's some. I haven't been working on no new albums and no new shit lately. I've been doing, a lot of writing work for other people lately and features, some, dope features. People holler, yo, Sky, get a joint. Well, okay, cool. We'll do a verse, whatever. But it worked like that. I take breaks. I can't drop an album and then a month later write and record another album, drop out. I got to live life. Yeah. The life dictates the music. You know what I'm saying? So what am I going to talk about if I drop in June and then write another album the next day in June and drop in July? Like, nothing happened. I got to live life. That's why it's always like a year in between. I got to live life. You know what I mean? I ain't going to let 5 years go. We're not in the 90s where you could drop once every 5 years and still be successful. Like, you got to stay on people's minds, drop once every year or whatever. But I got to live life. You know what I'm saying? But I got some ideas. I got some tricks up my sleeve. I got this one trick up my sleeve. We're working on how it pans out. If the shit pans out, game over. But
I know a trick too.
Yeah?
I
don't know if I ain't tell you this one.
No,
so I don't think you got
trick.
It. All right, we'll talk about that later.
Okay,
but
cool.
yeah, I got a couple tricks up my sleeve. I definitely, the pen is still flying for sure. So that's, thank God. I thank God every day for me being able to do what I do. I actually pray every time I write. Real quick. I don't say an hour-long prayer, but I just be like, yo, thank you for me being able to do this the way I do it. Like right before I start writing, when the beat is on, I just be like, I'll close my eyes and be like, yo, thank you for letting me do this the way I do it. Because I know what I'm capable of and how I do it, and I don't take it for granted. Because at any moment, same way when he walk in the room, like, yo, son, hold that. He could be like, yo, son, let me get that back. You know what I mean? Like, and that be that. So, I'm thankful that I could do this the way I do it. My talent. Forget the money, forget whatever comes from it. Literally being nice. I'm thankful for that. Because it's a lot of heads that's nice and it's a lot of heads that's not. So I'm thankful for being nice, for talent. You know what I mean? Like we all have a talent. And my man said, my man Sonny said, yo, man, the worst thing in the world is wasting talent. Bronx Tale. So I'm thankful for that.
So my last favorite bar.
Yeah.
And release, because I called you the other day. We went to that, wondering if you felt like your ability, your bars come from another place. He was like, yeah. So I was on a plane listening and reading with my lady. I had to wake her up. Like, yo.
Really?
Scott, that is. I was
okay.
Like, she was like, but there's this line right here.
Right.
I thought was kind of crazy.
Okay.
Shoulders like Cayenne's dad. You start with that? I ain't gonna say
shoulders like Cayenne's dad, the 7 with me. So whoever bet against me, tell him I spray back single-handed. Other hand was playing 68 Olympics. Stretched out from Tommy to John, gave it distance. And we'll do the other half in a minute. Yeah. So Cayenne is Melo's son, Carmelo Anthony's son. Shout out to my man Melo. That's the bro. Shoulders like Cayenne dad, the 7 with me. So what I'm saying is, Melo had the weight of the city on the shoulders when he played here. You know what I mean? He had the weight of the city on the shoulders, but he had the 7. If you know 7 is the God number. 7 is the number 7. It represents God. It represents the Most High and the completion and the whole circle and all that. So what I'm saying is like, I got shoulders like Melo. Like that's just I could have said, strong and brave like Carmelo, but that would have been whack. You know what I mean? Lyricism is, how can you say it's sunny outside in the most unique, fly, ill, witty way? That's lyricism. Yo, it's sunny outside and we're gonna hang out with some girls. How can you say that in an ill ass way? That's lyricism. That's what being lyrical is about. How can you say that same shit, complex and different, but relatable? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And wow motherfuckers with it. So shoulders like Cayenne dad. Oh, Cayenne. Oh, Melo's son. Shoulders like his father. Shoulders like Melo. Okay, cool. The 7 with me. Meaning like if I got the weight of the city on my shoulders, I got God with me on my height. Like, yeah, this is a tough task carrying the city with me. Like Melo, you know, my shoulders is like that. I'm carrying all the shit with me, but I got God with me, so my height. Melo wore 7. 7 is the God number. The 7 with me, so whoever bet against me, tell them I spray back. Meaning like, and even with that, I'm talking about God, but then I bring it back around the way. Like, don't think this is becoming Christian rap. You know what I mean? I'm just balancing. I'm just evening the score. Like, you know, the 7 with me, so whoever bet against me, tell them I spray back. Single-handed. So single-handed. Other hand is playing 68 Olympics. So on one hand, I'm doing this to protect myself and whatever. On the other hand is doing that. You know, stretched out from Tommy to John, gave it distance. So now you're talking about the 68 Olympics, Tommy and John on the stand like this, but then you also talking about Tommy John surgery with the elbow. You know what I'm saying? So 7 with me, I spray back, single-handed, other hand is playing. So now you picture it, I'm doing this, but I'm also doing this. Like, damn, he's representing both of these things. You know what I mean? Stretched out from Tommy to John, gave it distance, like elbow surgery, Tommy John surgery, but also Tommy and John, ironically, with the 68 Olympics. And that shit just happened to work. Like when I was thinking about it, I was like, Tommy John surgery, Tommy and John from the 68 Olympics representing that, stretch out, elbow surgery, whatever. It just worked. I was like, oh, nobody did that yet? That works. All right, cool. So, you know, justice to poetically speak on whatever mattered. No, justice to poetically speak on whatever happened and gunning for the rest of, wait, how would I say justice to poetically speak on whatever mattered and gunning for the rest to believe it because it happened. Poetic justice, gunning for the rest to believe it because it happened. You free to be on your Kappa. That's whether Kaepernick or Kappa's passing the stick or capping back with the blick. So that's 3 different levels of Kappa, right? So like, you free to be whoever you want to be, whether you Kaepernick on the knee or whether you a Kappa, you know, fraternity, blah, blah, or capping back. Like, you know what I mean? You're free to be on your Kappa. That's whether Kaepernick or Kappa's passing the stick or capping back with the blick. The perils of understanding them all, my hand involved. Bill Withers, Grandma's Hands, How I Hand It Off. You know the song, Grandma's Hands. In Search of Nirvana, I'm honored to tread it carefully. Room full of reasons why I sing and make it clear for me. And those reasons being the people, being the fans. Room full of reasons why I sing and make it clear for me, for real. And, you know.
For real.
Yeah.
I think.
And then here's the thing about it, man. That's why, like, you know, we talked about on the phone. Just to wrap it up, I promise you we at the end. This is why, like, this isn't me being funny, man. This is why it's the album of the year. And I'm going to tell you why, because nobody's doing that, right? Like, there's motherfuckers that's lyrical and nice and they spitting. Oh, shit, he said, you know, I get hotter than the sun on July. Blah, blah, oh, shit, da-da-da. Cool. There's motherfuckers telling a story. Yo, da-da-da-da-da, blah, 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 blah. Cool. There's nobody blending it like this. There's nobody layering it like this, where we could sit here for hours. And, bro, I feel like we touched shit, but I feel like we didn't. Yeah. There's so many lines that look we didn't get to touch. We'll be here all day. We'll be here 5-6 hours going each song. Like, okay, so this line, I said this, so it means this and this and this, but you could break it down to this and this and this, right? That's bar 1. Bar 2, it means this, but you could we could do that on every verse, on every song. And the album's an hour long. You know what I mean? So when people talk that album of the year shit, yeah, I'm not on a major label. I don't have so-and-so putting their arm around my neck. I don't have, you know, such and such doing my marketing and my PR, and that's fine because I'm not broke and I don't look broke, so I'm cool. But, like, you know, I don't have all that shit. It's just me. It's me and y'all. You know what I mean? It's me and the people. Like, yo, here's the product. Y'all enjoy it. You know, it's like having the greatest restaurant in the world, but I don't have fucking a commercial on every 30 seconds on every commercial break telling you my restaurant is great and come to it at such and such and such street and we open from 8 to fucking 10. No, I don't have that. But word of mouth said, yo, you heard about that restaurant over there? Them motherfuckers got it over there. Them motherfucking cheese grits, yo, they got it over there. And then you go and you and your lady come to the restaurant. You're like, yo, this shit is amazing. I ain't going nowhere. On a Sunday morning, I'm here. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's me. That's it. I don't have, you know, all that other shit moving like that. But what I do have is the people, man, representing. So just represent it. Let motherfuckers know, yo, listen, I went to that breakdown. I ain't gonna hold you. A lot of people dropped this year. Motherfuckers ain't this guy shit. He got it. He got it. Look at what he got it. I mean, the way he broke down this one line for 20 minutes, he got it. Nobody's doing that. Nobody album can do that for you. You know what I mean? Nobody's album are you doing that with. I heard a lot of shit this year. A lot of dope shit dropped. A lot of dope shit. Hip hop is in a good space. Hip hop is in a very good space because the radio and all that shit is still whatever, but the option for other shit is there. So you can go find all types of great shit. Nobody's doing what this shit did. Nobody. Point them out. Tell me. We'll go listen to it right now. You know what I mean? Point them out. Tell me who it is who's doing this shit. They're not doing it. So AOTY, man. For real, for real. But you know. There it is.
Thank you.
Yeah, you already.
With
You
us.
already.
Thank y'all.
Absolutely.
DJ. Okay.
We can vibe, whatever. I know Head's got to go because Head's got work and all that. You know what I mean? So,
I sell Skyzoo records here.
yes.
Oh, you signing, right? You got
Whatever you
signing
wanna
anything?
do. Whatever you wanna
Anybody
do.
have a record Scott to sign?